he will rise on the third day. And the men of Nineveh will rise at the judgment, and this generation condemn it, for they repented at the preaching of Jonah. Something greater than Jonah is here. So what happens? Son of Man's crucified. Son of Man's buried. He goes down to the realm of dead for 3 days. On the third day, he rises again. And what happens after the resurrection? He sends his apostles, go to all nations, teaching them everything I've taught you, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And what happens, Matt?
The nations.
One by one, the nations start to fall. They start to convert. They start to abandon the temples.
Convert. One by one, the Goyim are conquered by the Jewish Son of Man. That's all about conquering the Gentiles, and all the kings and the Goyim will bow and tremble in fear, setting their sight on that Son of Man who will have dominion over all nations and all languages.
They abandon Artemis. They abandon Ephesus. They abandon the goddess of Ephesus. They abandon Zeus, and they start to.
They abandon all their pagan gods, and now they worship the Jewish God. Super based.
If Socrates or Julius Caesar come back today to Greece or to Italy, to Athens or to Rome, what will they find? Not the same language, not the same culture, not the same values, not the same God, not the same faith, not the same traditions, not the same heritage, not the same culture, not the same lifestyle, not the same philosophy. All that remains is the geographical soil.
I always get a kick out of it. You know, in Rome, they built Titus's arch, if you're familiar with it. They built that arch to commemorate the destruction of our temple. So the Romans are gone. We don't hear from them. They're a footnote in the history book, but the Jews are still there. And on Hanukkah, my organization in Rancho, they light a big menorah right at Titus's arch. So 2,000 years ago, when they destroyed the temple in the year 70, no one ever imagined the Jews will be around, 2,000 years from now.
Yeah.
And the Romans are gone, as the Romans. The Greeks are gone. The Persians are gone. The Egyptians are gone. All the people who oppressed us. Communism is gone. So I believe there is the fact that the Jews are around, and it's not us. It's a blessing from God.
Our mandate as Jews was not to convert the world to Judaism. It was to bring an ethical, monotheistic standard to the world, which I believe Christianity and Islam, in their purest form, are a fulfillment of that prophecy.
Christianity, Islam, all believe in God, right? And you know, it all started, and that's an interesting thing, it all started with Abraham, right? One person, at that point, everyone was pagans, believed in all the false idols. And now, what we're talking about, it's like 3,700 years later, the majority of the world believes in God. That all goes back to Abraham. So one guy, the way he influenced the entire world.
Think back 2,000 years ago when it was Judaism and everybody else. And today, we speak of not only a Judeo-Christian, but we even speak of a Judeo-Christian Islamic ethic, which to me is a fulfillment of that prophecy.
What Egyptian worships Osiris today? None. What Iraqi worships Tammuz today? None. What Lebanese worships Adonis? None. What Greek worships Dionysus? None. Yet all across this planet today, people are celebrating from every tribe and tongue the resurrection of the Messiah, Jesus. Amen?
Christianity is nothing without Judaism. It came from Judaism. Jesus was a Jew.
Who was it who first preached the gospel of the resurrection? The apostles. Who were the apostles? They were Jews, believing, Torah observing, kosher keeping Jews.
Why would the Jewish leaders support Paul? Because by spreading Christianity, he's spreading the Bible. And the Bible says that Jews are God's chosen people. So he's elevating the status of Jews in Rome.
The Jews are kind of like at the center of the human story. The creation story and the flood story, and God choosing a people for himself at Mount Sinai, and giving us the Messiah through the Jewish people. It all centers around the Jews.
I mean, you believe a Jew created the universe?
Yeah, I do.
Why are you obsessed with Israel? Why are you acting like you have more allegiance to Israel than to America? Where does this obsession come from? And I said to him, and this was the only thing I said, and then it exploded online. I said, my savior is a Jew.
Such a good edit by my boy See Through It All to get us going today. Monday, March 9th, 2026. Huge show. We're going to go over the Iran war updates. Trump anointed status according to the rabbis. Demons, UFO, PSYOP, Tucker Carlson, Sean Ryan. So much stuff to cover. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have a guy to expose Russia. Western Alliance, I believe his name is. Western Alliance is going to be on. Russia Exposer. I posted earlier this morning the new Man on the Street interviews talking Epstein, Jesus, end times prophecy, and Iran war. Some good interviews there. Such a good edit. I'm working on a new edit similar to this one. This one was fire. Love the music. Great job. See through it all. Okay, first clip, Donald Trump's new propaganda video for Iran war. Let's check it.
On the orders of the President of the United States, U.S. Central Command commences Operation Epic Fury.
I'm gonna shoot you right down.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
Christ is king.
We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it.
Amen.
Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their
Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles.
Dude, this is some good propaganda.
The world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. This is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go after them. The president made the decision to go after them. Take away their missiles, take away their navy, take away their drones, take away their ability to make those things.
This is badass, I'm not going to lie. No, this is not cringe. This goes hard.
Proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. It will be probably your only chance for generations.
Boom, boom, boom.
No crash. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. Wow. You know, it just reminded me, there's one that Ben Stiller tweeted. He's like, Tropic Thunders does not support your propaganda video. It makes me want to go look for that one too. Dude, no joke though, that did go hard. Not even go. It's Zionist Wars, but it still went hard. Let's see. I want to see if we can find the other one. Ben Stiller thought he was so hard calling it out. I'll find it. Oh, is this where he sees the bodies go by? The fallen soul, honoring the fallen soldiers? Yep. We're at war. Zio wars are here. Gog and Magog is here. Dude, they even make dying for Israel look cool. Dude, they even make dying for Israel go hard. Whoa, I like the double push of the door. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I had not seen those yet. Hold on, let's do one more. Here's the one that Ben Stiller said. Look. Hey, White House, please remove the Tropic Thunder clip. We never gave you permission and have no interest in being a part of your propaganda machine. War is not a movie. How Ben Stiller thought he looked writing this to Trump. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a 2-second meme clip is under fair use.
Finishing
Ben. 800,000 likes, by the way, for Ben Stiller. Who I think is the funniest Hollywood Jew, by the way. My personal favorite. I was doing the GIFs, all the GIFs below that everybody was replying with. He's been in a lot of funny A lot of funny characters. Can't lie. Top Jew.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of.
Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
They didn't even use a line from it. It was one Tom Cruise dancing as Weinstein. Could you take this out? Actually, you didn't get permission. Could you take this out? That's all it was.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am.
Jewlander? That's funny.
Time to find out.
Maximum effort.
Here it comes. Now end this.
Dude.
Victory.
Wow. Dude, we are such a meme country. Meme politics, podcast politics, internet politics. Dude, even that like sacrifice the soldiers for Israel, they even made that look cool. Crazy. Habad's Angels, that's funny. Good one, Leaf Blower, Habad's Angels. Wow. Okay, Trump is urging vessels to show some guts and pass through the Strait of Hormuz. I just saw something about they're turning off their transponders and sneaking through. I don't know if that's true. I saw it on the internet.
Here's exactly what he said. These ships should go through the Strait of Hormuz and show some guts. There's nothing to be afraid of. They have no navy. We sunk all their ships. He went on to say, he said, look, yeah, there's risk in the region. The region's volatile. They are launching. Here's exactly what he said.
Okay, we're getting powerchat.live turned on in the links in the description below and pinned to the top of Rumble and BitChute and Odysee, where we're streaming. So a lot of not looking good for the U.S. bombing the school in Iran. New York Times, breaking news, new video adds to evidence that a U.S. missile likely hit an Iranian school where 175 people, many of them children, were reportedly killed. U.S. Tomahawk hit naval base besides Iranian school. And Trump says Iran did it. Hegseth is saying Iran did it.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
Investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done. We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
Is that why they're hitting our bases?
At that school.
Well, we're still investigating.
Have you made any conclusions about whether or not the United States, inadvertently or not, was involved in any military strike at that school?
Well, we're still investigating, and that's where I'll leave it today. But what I will emphasize
that's a no.
Is that unlike our adversaries, the Iranians, we never target civilians.
That's the same talking point. Does Israel kill civilians?
In a week from two officials that it was likely U.S. involvement. Is that report false?
I've already said we're investigating.
If you could tell the American public.
Don't worry, we're investigating ourselves.
Definitively was not us, you would tell us, wouldn't you?
I would say that it's being investigated, which is the only answer I'm prepared to give.
Have you made any conclusions about whether or not the United States
or not looking good. Not looking good. And now they're calling us out on it too. Look at this.
By an American fighter.
Okay, let's move to the strike on the elementary school in southern Iran. It killed more than 170 people, including many children. President Trump said Iran is responsible for that strike. What is your response to what the president said?
Well, it is funny. It is our school. These are our students, our girls, and they are attacked by an American fighter, a jet fighter, and they have been killed. Why Iran is responsible? Have we stopped?
Night Marshall sent $5.
Thank you, Marshall.
Hey, have you looked into Anatoly Fomenko?
I'd recommend reading Tsar of the Slavs. His explanation for the real origin of Jesus is interesting to say the least.
I've heard of that. Isn't that the guy that does the Tartaria stuff, fake history? He seems a little out there for me.
The reason for to all Jews,
I like to keep it real.
Never speak out against Torah. They are complicit in the religious mind control.
Hold on, I missed that first part. What did you say? All
Trippenfeld sent $5 on Rumble. Did you need to mog Nick Fuentes on Twitter and
I'm blocked.
He's trying push claiming he was the first trouble to go against Trump and
I know.
The Jewish connection.
I know. Yeah, they go, Nick was right about everything. It's like, dude, Nick was wrong about Trump and the importance of Chabad and prophecy and Putin and it's just like he's wrong about Jesus still. Wrong for 10 years, gets it right before the election, and everybody has amnesia and forgets that he was a big Trump shill for 10 years. It's crazy. While I was exposing it.
Have we attacked our own people? No, we were negotiating with the United States. And in the middle of negotiations, in the middle of diplomacy, they decided to attack us. And they have attacked so many places, including schools and hospitals. And there are all evidences that this school is attacked by an American, jet fighter.
Where is the Iranian evidence that this was a U.S. attack, a jet fighter, as you say?
Good question.
If it was not U.S., then who was that? Maybe Israelis. But it is obvious who else is attacking us.
Yeah. Exactly. He said it came from a fighter jet, a Tomahawk from a fighter jet. You think they fighter jetted, bombed their own kids' school? Ben Shapiro seething. I saw See Through It All. Are you in the chat? See Through It All had a tweet about like finally people like hit a nerve by talking about Chabad. It almost got 10,000 likes. Here's Ben Shapiro kvetching about now Candace Owens and Tucker talking about Chabad some. And talking about Chabad is basically gone mainstream now because of it. It's all over. Tons of influencers are doing Chabad exposés.
Brain rotted. Okay, so
let's see what Shapiro. Everybody's talking about Shapiro's eyebrows too. He's getting his eyebrows. He's got an eyebrow situation. Looking very furry.
Brain rotted. Okay, so yesterday, President Trump went directly after Tucker Carlson. He said, quote, Tucker has lost his way. I knew that a long time ago, and he's not MAGA. MAGA is saving our country. MAGA is making our country great again. MAGA is America first, and Tucker is none of those things, and Tucker is really not smart enough to understand that. All of which is obviously true, except that Tucker is smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. But like so many in the commentary business, the clicks and the giggles have contributed to a terminal case of brain rot. True, actual, undeniable brain rot. After Tucker said just a few days ago that Trump's action in Iran is, quote, absolutely disgusting and evil, Tucker has now declared that Chabad, that is the Jewish organization most famous for their telethon and also their warm approach to Jewish outreach, Chabad was responsible for the war in Iran and was also seeking to destroy the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is, I'm sorry, totally insane. I mean,
oh, no, it's completely insane. Chabad doesn't want to rebuild the temple. That's lunatic. Really, this is not going to work, Ben. Oh, Gog and Magog, war with Edom and Persia, according to their prophecies? Pfft. What do you mean? Chabad's never said anything like that. Like, it's not going to work. The cat's out of the bag. The rabbi's out of the tunnel.
There are no levels to describe how that is. That is so crazy. That is clinically insane. That's like, put that dude in a straitjacket nuts. Chabad basically exists so that Jews who are interested in Judaism have a place to go to shul, to synagogue. They're the people who stand around at public events. You'll sometimes see them with phylacteries, asking Jews if they wrapped tefillin that day. They drive around with cars labeled mitzvah tanks. Their actual philosophy, by the way, on the rebuilding of the Third Temple is that the Third Temple is rebuilt by acts of loving kindness. I'm not even kidding. That's what they say. And Tucker...
That's what they say.
Basically just slandered Chabad.
Chabad.
Again, I'm in a state of shock. It is hard to shock me when it comes to the levels to which Tucker Carlson goes, because
Third Temple, what are you talking about?
Degrading show, but slandering Chabad.
I mean, it's got to go where the dome is, but we would hate to see anything happen to that dome.
As
the lox is out of the bagel.
Hamas, since Tucker actually thinks Hamas isn't really a terror group.
You're funny, Valhalla or bust.
Psychotic stuff. I mean, psychotic break insanity.
So just noting the very, he'll say like, oh, they want the Noahide laws or the destruction of Edom. Oh, preposterous. Just wait till Tucker learns about the destruction of Edom prophecies. He's had me blocked for years. He's a total puss.
Okay, so.
In this clip, Yeshai Flesher and Yaakov Katz discuss the recent events in Iran. We got some other rabbi clips. Oh, hold on. Before we get to that one, let's do this. Blinken says Israel tried to pressure Obama to bomb Iran by saying that they were going to bomb them with or without them, and Obama resisted the same strategy that they used to get Trump to attack, or the excuse that they gave for Trump attacking.
Look, this has been a long story when it comes to Iran. And
Thunderstorm 9 sent $5 on Rumble. Bolshevik Ben Shapiro is getting the Groucho Marx eyebrows.
Dude, caterpillar eyebrows, what it looks like. Got some big old furry caterpillars above his eyes.
Look, this has been a long story when it comes to Iran.
Ben Shapiro is probably just like clavicular. He's just looks maxing and he's doing like the mascara on the eyebrows.
This has been a long story when it comes to Iran. And back during the Obama administration, the Israelis were pushing President Obama to take military action against Iran, and were warning that they would do it themselves if he didn't. And he wouldn't, because he thought the better way to get at the nuclear program, which is what we were focused on, was through very muscular diplomacy backed up by very, very strong sanctions that we rallied the world to put in place. And then we got the Iran nuclear agreement. Look, this has been a...
Wow, same little tactic that they did, forcing our hand. Who's really running who?
Of fresh air. To our steadfast partner, Israel, your mission is being executed with unmatched skill and iron determination. Fighting shoulder to shoulder with such a capable ally is a true force multiplier and a breath of fresh air. We salute your courage and your contribution. To our steadfast partner,
Jewish people's policy plan, and there's nobody better to explain to us what's really going on than Yaakov Katz, who's an Israeli-American author, journalist, senior fellow at the Jewish People's Policy Planning Institute in Jerusalem. He has served as editor-in-chief of the J-Post, the Jerusalem Post, and worked for 2 years as policy advisor to Naftali Bennett, who was the...
Max Dalbert, thank you.
On Rumble. Shapiro's forehead is a mutant hairy caterpillar grow lab.
Pretty much. He needs to go get those fixed, I think.
Economy and Minister of Diaspora Affairs. Later, he was the Prime Minister as well.
That's kind of the theme in like women's makeup now too. It used to be like in the 90s and 2000s they had like real thin little eyebrows, and now like they're all big and dark and bushy is the look.
Well, he's the author of 3 books: Shadow Strike, Inside Israel's Secret Mission to Eliminate Syrian Nuclear Power. I guess there's another chapter to that now. Weapon Wizards: How Israel Became a High-Tech Military Superpower, and Israel versus Iran: The Shadow War. Okay, you know what? The floor is yours. Before I even ask you the questions, give me a picture of what we've been seeing here in the last 9 days.
Well, I mean, put aside books for a moment. I think we need a whole new book written about... I've long believed, Yishai, and I wonder what you think, that we need a new addition to the Tanakh. Okay?
The Book of Trump?
To propose something like that. But
don't say the Book of Trump.
The last 2.5 years for the Jewish people have been so tumultuous, so challenging, so dangerous and existential. But look at how we've emerged. I mean, it's really epic. It's biblical in proportion. And the stories of the courage and the bravery and the sacrifice of Israeli people and Americans and just everything going on here. this creation of this new military alliance, a whole new level, something that had we spoken a few weeks ago, I could not have imagined that we would have this joint merged operation in the way that we're seeing playing out right now, where the Americans are refueling the Israelis and backwards and flying together and sharing intelligence, sitting in command rooms. And this is Israel's first war in English. They're talking in English all day because they're sitting across from Americans. They're looking over the maps and analyzing targets and deciding you go there, I go there. Israel, the military has changed its time, right? They usually have their own clock system. They're going according to Zulu time, which is the NATO time, because they're working with the Americans. I mean, this is unbelievable. So I'll tell you a couple of things. I'm super optimistic. I really am, because I believe that we are on track to a dramatic change, not just in the region, not just for Israel, not just for the people of Iran, but for global security. I think that what we're seeing playing out, if this keeps up and the Americans keep at it and Donald Trump keeps going, this will be the change that our kids, who now don't understand what they're watching, will one day look back and say, wow, we were witnesses to history being written.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I have young children, and they are definitely feeling that they're living through something amazing. You know, though, Jews are sometimes, you know, less, the ones that are less involved in the news, and the ones that like are more cynical. I was in synagogue and I was talking to a guy, and I was saying basically what you just said. And he's like, yeah, but there's still this and there's this and he's there. He started poking holes and laying out all the problems. And I'm like, we just took out the leader of Iran, a nation state. This guy has been plotting to murder Israel for a long time. We just took him out, him and his 40 top dudes in one shot. Like, yeah. I agree with you about the other problems, but like, hold on, take a stop and be like, you know, and if you want to look at it religiously, like, thank God. And if you want to look at it religiously, you could be like, wow, that was on Shabbat Zachor. That's when we're supposed to talk about
Wolf Brigade 1 cent
the destruction of Amalek.
You vidcast to FTJ as well. Hail to my Aryan brothers /O.
I don't know what that is.
If you don't want to look at it religiously, just look at it just in your personal safety.
What did you say? FTJ?
You just averted.
Thank you, though.
Iran. You just averted a guy, you know, who terrorized us all the way in Argentina in the Amia bombings and Hezbollah and the Houthis. Like, this guy just left the world. We just took him out. You know, we didn't leave him die. We didn't let him die peacefully. We took him out. Like, wow.
Think for a moment. You know, I saw this tweet that Khamenei tweeted 3 days after October 7th in 2023. So it was October 10th. And he tweeted, Israel brought this upon themselves. Israel will never stand up again and will never be able to rise up. That was pretty much the language of his tweet. And you know what?
Wow.
Because he was such an evil guy, he tweeted it even in Hebrew to make sure that every Israeli would be able to read it. This is what he tweeted from his official account.
Right.
When he was killed 2 Saturdays ago, I wonder if he thinks now that we were the ones who would never rise up, that we were the ones who brought this upon ourselves, or was it he who brought it upon himself when he unleashed his proxies to attack us? Hamas on October 7th, Hezbollah on October 10th, the Houthis, and of course Iran itself. And you look at the leadership in all of these different places. Hassan Nasrallah, dead. Yahya Sinwar, dead. Khamenei, dead. The leaders of the Houthis, dead. Right? We're still standing. We're still here. We're strong. And they are collapsing around. Now, does that mean we're in the safety zone, that we can sit back and you know, rest? No, we have major challenges.
I can't stand these guys.
And we will have to fight for a long time ahead.
I don't really get why you clip this, Himalek.
That Iran does indeed.
Is that the whole point? They don't look scared? No, of course not.
And these filthy rat Jews.
Yo, chill, Zornder Edom, chill. Look at how bad this prophecy prediction was from this prophecy club guy before the election in 2024. Look at how bad this aged.
A sword. Now, what I'm about to say now is a rumor, but many people believe it to be true. The rumor is that after JFK was assassinated, the U.S. military intelligence knew who did it, but was powerless to stop them. So they conceived a plan to stop.
On Rumble. When I were a lad, I served a term as an office clerk in an attorney firm. I cleaned the windows, I mopped the floor, I polished up the handle on the big front door.
Were you a Shabbos Goy? Is that what you're saying?
This evil cabal who start wars, kill kings, presidents at will, and think they rule the world. They had two choices: either ground up and it'd be a bloody revolution, or take over the presidency and try to clean it up from the top down. They sought for a man. They approached 10. They talked to Donald Trump. They showed him the evil cabal, what they'd done, and I suspect that's what changed him from being Democrat to Republican. And he said, would I report to you or you to me? And they said, oh, no, we'll report to you. And he said, then I'll do it. This started him coming down the escalator. Now, let me jump to August.
That's basically what Alex Jones and Jerome Corsi and the QAnon Mike Flynn people say.
8th, 2015. He just said he's coming back with the powers of a king. They may still call him president, but he's coming back with the powers of the king to drain the swamp. Here's further confirmation.
Yeah,
So, now,
but how? I'm sorry to interrupt, but how do you explain? You said 400,000 mass arrests before the election.
Here it is.
Okay.
Normally, there's anywhere from 25 to 125 sealed indictments all across the 50 states in America. Normally, what's a
sealed indictments? Q-tard.
Warrant, but they don't want to warn the cockroaches by turning the light on, then they all scatter. So they file all of these sealed indictments, and then once they start arresting, they arrest them all very, very quickly.
Who's going to make these arrests?
I'm sorry?
Who is going to carry out the arrests?
The military. Let me get there. In 2024, there's going to be massive arrests. Patriots will back the military. The new name will be called the Republic of the United States. There'll be a new kingdom. That's not president. That's not constitution. New kingdom governance, a new flag, a new financial system. Evil will be brought to justice, civil unrest, chaos. Trump will lead and have powers of a king. Here's what he said.
Man, being that far off, I hope he hangs up the prophecy shtick. All right, so look at some of these clips. This is a clip I posted before the election when it was after Trump had his assassination attempt. Rabbi says Donald Trump is anointing as God's Messiah to serve Israel. I got half a million views, 1.4 thousand likes. All these accounts now, because of the latest Tucker talking about Chabad, the Iran war stuff, everybody's taking my clip and going viral with it. 500,000 views, 5,000 likes from this Red Pill USA, 300,000 followers. Oh, there was one with even more too. It was Sovereign Bra posted. And then look at this. Jack Stone finds this other one, Chabad Rabbi talking about Trump striking Amalek. We're going to watch this here in a second. Got a few hours later, got ripped by the same account. You know you can retweet us, right? You know the retweet button works, big accounts, right? We spend the time to go and curate and find these important rabbi clips. You know, a retweet, the share button, you can do that too. Yeah, watermark W. So here's the one from before the election. We'll do their version.
The majority of the current non-Jewish Messiah was chosen to be of service to the Jewish people and the Jewish Messiah. President Trump's right ear was grazed in a symbolic gesture of Exodus 21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one, just like Cyrus the Great almost 2,400 years ago. We have clarified in several videos that the absolute deadline for the redemption is by the end of the Jewish year 5787, which corresponds to October 2nd, 2027, 1,167 days from today.
Oh, they're all saying that the war with Iran is going to end on Passover also. Amalek told me that. I saw Jack Stone was in the comments saying that too.
Thus, the redemption
Hopefully it's the other rabbi clip.
During Donald Trump's tenure. And I have good reason to believe Donald Trump was chosen to be the one to redeem the sins of Asaph through offering his assistance in rebuilding the Holy Temple on the Temple Mount and establishing the Jewish kingdom over all of mankind in Jerusalem. Perhaps
Passover Eve, thank you.
The value of Donald Trump in Hebrew is the same as Messiah, son of David, Mashiach ben David, 424. However, Donald Trump is mistaken if he thinks he was chosen to make America great again. He will no doubt do a lot of good things to strengthen our economy, protect our borders, and allow religious freedom to flourish. But America will never become a great country on its own, because Esav's days are numbered. All our elite institutions and centers of power and influence are rotten through and through. The majority of Americans under 30 who are college educated and who are the future leaders of America support the vicious monsters of Hamas, will be great Messiah, and ask him, and the leader of this country, on behalf of all the good people in this country, will humbly present himself to the Jewish Messiah and ask him to accept the United States of America into a new alliance of countries who accept the leadership of the Messiah. A new United Nations will replace the current cesspool that goes by that fraudulent name. A real United Nations, united to serve God, led
From Israel, from the temple in Jerusalem.
My feeling is that the United States under President Trump will be the first nation to join.
So, Watermark W, all these big accounts sharing the clips. It's funny how all these big, important viral clips always originate with, like, me and see through it all. Or the rest of the crew, or a John Garadas mix. Sovereign Broad did the same thing. Oh.
Zorn Dare Edom _ sent $5 Adam. Seriously, what kind of timeline is there on Dome of the Rock destruction? And how does it jive with the current Iran war circumstances?
Well, yeah, like I've been saying for 10 years, obviously they want to put the third temple where the Dome of the Rock is, so it's either got to be earthquake machined or bombed and blamed on another country. What's the timeline? I don't know. They got their red heifers, although they're dismissing that it's not kosher. But the timeline, I don't know. Inevitable because they're obsessed with it and they're never going to stop trying to do it. But look, Sovereign Bra shared the same clip. 13,000 likes, 500,000 views. Okay, let's do this one. The Jack Stone rabbi clip that he found. 2.7 thousand likes. Let's see his.
There's two or three that I've been speaking about. You see, his second presidency, he was ascending to be Mashiach's
forerunner.
You know, in a concert, you have an opening performer who performs before. So the one who is escorting Mashiach into the world, the Eibishter has chosen that Esav should be the one that should do that. I've discussed this many times, and this is kind of coming from many other people that are very known on the internet, rabbis who speak about Mashiach. There's two or three that have been speaking about Mashiach for the last 15 years. Everybody's waking up now. I had the schus to be one of those two or three that have been speaking about Mashiach for the last quite a long time. And from the other ones, everybody comes to the same conclusion, that he is clearly a Gilgal or of Esav. There's everything about him. He's got that arrogance of Esav. He's got the red hair.
Trump is the Messiah of Esau or Armalus. I don't know why they're not calling him Armalus.
He's unpredictable.
Because he's not turned against Israel yet.
And there's a lot to it, okay? What's interesting is that the pasuk says that V'rav Yavoi Tzo'ir, the older one will serve the younger one. The ultimate prediction of the Geula is that the older one, Esav, has to become a servant to Yaakov. And when someone becomes a servant, you become a servant. An ultimate servant is to become the servant forever. Now, Esav, interesting, Esav was not a Gentile.
We see
Esav was a Jew. Because his mother was Jewish. Not like Yishmael. Yishmael was not Jewish. But Esav is Jewish. Because his mom was Rivka. He's called a Yisrael Mumar. He's called a Jew, an apostate, or a Jew that goes away from whatever. Off the derech Jew was Esau, but he wasn't the descendant. A Jew, when a Jew is being made into a servant forever, how does that happen? You need to pierce their ear. They have to get a piercing in their ear, and then they're made into a Eved forever and ever. And if anything is telling, where did it happen? It happened on Shabbos. And where did it happen? In Pennsylvania. Do you remember which city in Pennsylvania it happened where they tried to shoot him? Wilkes-Barre. No, it wasn't in Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre is the yeshiva. No, maybe close by, but it wasn't. What? Say the word again. Say the word again.
Oh, Butler, like who served? Like a butler.
A butler is the chief servant, is a butler. Oh, wow. So he gets his ear pierced when he's in butler, which is everything. The names, we know in Hasidus that these are not jokes. No, it's interesting. I was in Eretz Yisrael. I was in Israel giving over a class all about this last year in Paradis Chana. And one of the Jacobson girls, you know the Jacobson, Shira, one of them, Shira or everyone, jumped up and said, and when I was talking about it, said, hey, and it happened in Butler. And in Butler, she's the Butler. Butler is, and that's it. So it's very interesting. Because Hashem is, if you look deeply, you can see that everything is in the names of everything that's happening. So what you see is the Eibishter literally prepared this person for this event, that he can be there right now to make this decision at this time, when it's not easy for him, because a lot of his base is giving him this. It's not American first. It's not American first. What are you doing? The truth is America first, because this is going to curb China. This is going to put.
Iran will fall, and the West will celebrate 9-month period of success before collapsing. And then the Jewish Messiah will come. All right, another rabbi. Rabbis are going crazy. End times are here.
At the end of days, it's going to be the exact opposite. Paras is going to fall at the hands of Rome, of the Western world. They're going to fall. And then we're going to see, says the Gemara, something unbelievable, a 9-month period where there is going to be great success that's going to happen in the Roman world, and finally their power is going to reduce, and the Jewish people are going to celebrate at the coming of Mashiach. That's
wow.
Wow. I mean, do you get two more different opinions, my friends? On one hand, you've got the great Shua ben Levi, who met Mashiach himself at some point, whatever that means, turns around and says, don't worry about it, Paras is going to win. Comes along Rav, the great Rav, and he's like, no. Paras is going to fall. Well, which one is it? I mean, if they were to meet on the street, would they be arguing and shouting at each other and fighting? What exactly is it? I don't know the answer.
Wow. I'm surprised the big accounts aren't ripping that one too.
At the end of days,
100 likes. Some other big account or some other account will take this. It's not even a big account. Any other account will steal this, post it, and it'll get 1 million views. Watch. These little these sleepers, these hidden gem sleepers. Zionist lawfare. Hold on. Before we get to that, let's do some of these. Lindsey Graham says Netanyahu personally told him they're going to go all in on Iran.
In the day that everybody before Trump said you can't have a nuclear weapon, you can't do this, now we're finally doing something about it. So we're going to stick with it. I talked to Bibi this morning. They're all in. This regime's going to collapse. It's not if, it's when. And the day that happens, the world will be safer. Everybody before Trump said you
all in. Not stopping. Another rabbi talking about Rome versus Persia, America versus Persia prophecies. Let's see this one too. From Conspiracy Truther. Let's go.
Rome and Persia. Who's going to be the last man standing? Esav or Yishmael? By the
Good
way,
song choice.
My message to both of them is we wish both of them tremendous hatzlacha. They should wipe each other out. We wish both sides tremendous hatzlacha in their avodah of wiping out the other party.
Yeah, they got their Jake Langs and their Tommy Robinsons out there instigating clashes with Islam and Christianity. We got other sides of the so-called anti-Zionist sphere doing their Christian-Muslim bullshit alliance. Something else Nick was wrong about, his stupid Christian-Muslim alliance. Oh, we all believe in Jesus together. They love Jesus too. Yeah, how's that working out? So they brought in tons of Muslims into Europe, and then now lighting the match. Moment of truth approaches. Iran, ground invasion or nuke, can't be anything else. I got a 1,000 or so likes on a tweet I did over the weekend saying that, like, all these people saying, "Oh, Israel's in trouble. Israel's going to be over." If Israel takes too many missiles, they're going to nuke Iran. They will not hesitate to nuke Iran, or an attack will happen in the West, some false flag in America, or just they'll let an attack happen in America. I'm sure there's plenty of Muslims really angry at America, willing to do a lone wolf attack. That happens, then we're going to see some real... if anybody's going to drop a nuke, it would be somebody like Trump or Israel. They're definitely not going to go down. Tel Aviv and Jerusalem isn't going to be flattened by Iranian missiles before a nuke is launched. What they're going to do next in Iran, detailed plan, many surprises to destabilize the regime, enable change, many more targets, but not elaborate.
אומר לכם רק זאת, גם אתם על הכוונת. מי שיניח את נשקו,
lay down your weapons, you will not be harmed. Those who do not, their blood is on their own heads. To the Iranian people, speaking to you for decades, the moment of truth is approaching. Because we do not seek to divide, we seek to liberate Iran, free it from the burden of tyranny, and to live in peace with its people. But at the end of the day, the liberation from tyranny, that liberation will depend on you, brave and resilient Iranian people. The moment of truth. They will not be far when Israel and Iran will once again become close friends. Cyrus, there's nothing about nuking them. Somebody else, some no-name account said it's either major ground invasion or a nuke. It can't be anything else. Why is RT boosting as if he said it's a nuke? Fucking always faking RT. Crap. After naming Chabad, Tucker Carlson is being targeted hard, so he doubles down. Let's see. Seems like maybe he has heard about. He talks about they want to weaken and destroy Europe. Just wait till he goes down that Chabad rabbi hole, the anti-Edom prophecy. For Israel to rise, Edom must fall. Rabbi clips.
Now think about that for a second. Think about a PR campaign or a propaganda campaign designed to make people terrified for their lives, which is what the Israeli campaign is. Telling Americans that they could be killed, that anti-Semitism in the United States is so terrible, being ginned up by people like me and other people online, that they could be killed. Imagine, that's not true at all, but imagine being so unscrupulous that you would terrify kids in order to silence criticism of your territorial expansion campaign, which is exactly what this is. Israel wants to be bigger. They want their regional rivals out of the way. They want to weaken the United States, get us out of the Middle East, and they want to weaken Western Europe, which they just hate for whatever reason. They truly hate Western Europe, which is one of the reasons the Israeli government has helped move migrants into Europe to weaken and destroy it. What is that? I don't really know the answer, but it's demonstrable. They hate Western Europe. And so whatever their bizarre agenda is, in order to stop criticism of it, they're telling Americans, including children, that they could be killed to get them on side with their program. That is super dark. That is evil, completely evil. And imagine, moreover, playing along with it with your own kids, telling your own kids that people hate them and will always hate them no matter what they do because of how they were born. That is not good for kids. And I say that not just as an American, but as a father of many kids. Like, that's the worst thing you could ever do to children. Who's doing that? A lot of people are doing that. And it doesn't produce happy people. It produces unbalanced people like Mark Levin, whose mother clearly told him that. That is not a fair description of the country we live in. We live in a, still now, for all its flaws, a very decent country where people accept each other's differences. And there is an organized campaign.
Oh my God, I can't stand Tucker right now.
Underway this moment to foment religious hatred in this country, hatred of American for American on the basis of religious identity. And that is totally.
Okay. We're skipping that shit.
Revolver 357 N2 sent 5.
Thank you, Revolver.
If Iran gets some significant hits on Dimona or Israel's desalination plants, I think Israel will nuke Iran. Israel gets about 80% of their water from desal, so they could cite it as genocidal actions.
You're right, exactly. Look, this is Tehran right now. One of their oil facilities, I think, bombed. Yeah, a lot of talk about the bombing of the desalination plants. Look at this. Here's Trump mentioning that.
Desalination plant. Iran today accused the U.S. of hitting a desalination plant in Iran, and they said that might open the door to other strikes on infrastructure, non-military.
Allow us to also open the door to other strikes against them.
Look, in response to that allegation, did the U.S. hit the desalination?
They are among the most evil people ever on earth. They cut babies' heads off. They chop women in half. What they did, take a look at October 7th.
We've sent $5. Israel would survive no matter what. That's their skit. We were almost wiped out, but God saved us.
Yeah, they'll say it was a miracle. Well, let's write a Purim book about it. Let's write a new Talmudic tractate about how we nuked Iran and destroyed Edom with their leader, Moshiach ben Trump.
Take a look at what they've done over the last 47 years. So I know nothing about a desalination plant other than to say if they're complaining about a desalination plant, we complain about the fact that they shouldn't be chopping babies' heads off, okay?
Really? So you're bombing their water because they chop babies' heads off? You mean what? The 40 babies in the ovens in October 7th? Is that what we're doing, really? Not even trying with this war today. Chop off baby heads. We could do whatever we want. Unreal. Dude, look at how much they lied. And all these suckers fell for it. Everybody's finding all these old clips of them lying.
We are never going back to a party that wants to give unlimited money to fight foreign wars that are endless wars, that are stupid wars. We are never going.
Look at this flip-flop from 2019 to 2025 on Lindsey Graham.
See, Lindsey Graham just said of your remarks that you made in the Oval Office that if you keep talking like that, quote, this will be a disaster worse than Obama's decision to leave Iraq.
No, Lindsey Graham would like to stay in the Middle East for the next 1,000 years with thousands of soldiers and fighting other people's wars. I want to get out of the Middle East. I think Lindsey should focus right now on judiciary, like the Democrats, the do-nothing Democrats, as I call them, because they're doing nothing. They're getting nothing done. They're not getting USMCA done between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. They're getting nothing done. And I think Lindsey should focus on judiciary. He ought to find out about what happened.
Oh, is that what you thought? Meanwhile, Lindsey Graham traveled to Israel with U.S. intelligence to, quote-unquote, coach Netanyahu on how to convince Trump to bomb Iran, going so far as to give the prime minister U.S. intelligence. Now him and Lindsey are boys. Top cheerleader of Trump is Lindsey Graham.
With Comey, what happened with McCabe, Lisa, what happened with Peter Strzok, what happened with President Obama, what happened with Brennan. That's what Lindsey ought to focus on. That's what the people of South Carolina want him to focus on. The people of South Carolina don't want us to get into a war with Turkey, a NATO member, or with Syria. Let them fight their own wars. They've been fighting for 1,000 years. Let them fight their own wars. The people of South Carolina want to see those troops come home. And I want an election.
So much for that.
Sent $5. Take note that now Israeli mouthpieces are trying to target Turkey as the next Iran. They are literally rallying for war on Turkey next.
I saw the clip. I played the clip on the show of Naftali Bennett saying that the other day, and yeah, I've heard those rumors for a while now.
And that's the way
there are problems with other
or bad. That's the way it is.
Other Middle Eastern nations. Okay, look at Vance lying too.
The best way.
My honest guidance to those young men, and I think their concerns are very legitimate, but if you're worried about the world spinning out of control, if you're worried about a military draft, if you're worried about, God forbid, a world war, the best way to prevent it is to vote for Donald Trump. And I really believe that. My honest guidance.
Dude. Well, I was calling it. I said Trump, Kushner, the Zionists, Netanyahu, all going to come back into power. They're going to declare peace. There's going to be Gog and Magog war with Iran, war with Russia. And it all happened while they were shilling that Trump was going to be the peace candidate and was going to drain the swamp. I can't read anymore his subtitles. Let's see. What else do we got here? One more of these.
She would get us into World War III because she is too grossly incompetent to do the job, and then all of your sons and daughters will end up getting a draft notice, the thing called the draft. Dad, what's this? Oh, congratulations, you've been drafted into the military. You're going to fight a war against a country that nobody's ever heard of.
The machine stops. Sent $5 you a Kang.
We was Kangs. We was Vikings.
That
Thank you.
Nobody's ever heard of. Isn't it true? Isn't it ridiculous? She would get us into World War III because she...
So much for that. I doubt she'd be bombing Iran for Israel like you're doing. Okay. Look at this. Zionist lawfare activists, the Brandeis Center, says that they're they're pushing the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. Let's see this.
Passed it. We've lost before. The Brandeis Center drafted, I think, the first state IRA bill. It was in Virginia a number of years ago. It was unsuccessful. We worked on the second one. That was in Tennessee. It was unsuccessful. Then we're in South Carolina. That was the first success, and we thank Christians United for Israel, American Jewish Committee, and some other groups for helping us make that successful. We've now got 2/3 of the states have passed the state IRA bills, and many more are working on it. Just within the last month, the Rhode Island House introduced it, Missouri House passed it, Wisconsin House passed it, the Ohio Senate was voting and I think passed it yesterday. Arizona House has passed it. So we've already got 2/3 of the states. I didn't think that was going to happen. And Virginia.
Wow, they got 2/3 of U.S. states now have the IHRA definition. And they go, oh, it's non-binding. Just wait till another synagogue is attacked or something. It'll be binding all of a sudden. It'll be illegal to criticize Chabad because it's inciting violence, inciting racial hatred. It's impeding on their First Amendment to have their religion or some shit. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. This is serious.
Virginia, where it hadn't passed, has now.
Yeah, anti-Semitic to blame Israel for the war, for the collapse of the economy in America, for anything.
Passed it. Tennessee, where it hadn't passed, has now passed it. So we are going to win. It's not going to be instantaneous. We're not going to win every battle, but we are going to win the war. And
Dude, they're at war
right now of this battle.
War with Amalek. Anyone that'll criticize them, they're at war.
$5 on Rumble. Unconditional surrender means the victorious powers will never be prosecuted for war crimes.
Unconditional surrender. I demand nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, that's Trump's latest requirement.
Is the federal. So we are absolutely delighted that all of you are here focusing on this, including especially those of you who have perhaps a voice and an ability to help us make sure that IRA becomes the law of the land.
The anti-Semitism definition, law of the land. Something else I've been talking about for almost 10 years. The IHRA anti-Semitism crackdown. Now we're going to get into this Sean Ryan, spooky demons, exorcists, UFOs, Tucker Carlson, schizo, Judeo paradigm bullshit. We got a bunch of that type of stuff. And then some, maybe we'll have time for some Professor Zhang exposés. All right, let's see this latest. How pathetic this is. See through it all clip. This huge Christian podcaster, Sean Ryan. Let's hear from The Exorcist, the totally serious exorcist.
So Michael, the general belief among the theologians and who have studied this and that type of thing is that he's actually one of the archangels. So he's from the second of the lowest ranks. So which is actually one of the reasons why it's so humiliating for Satan to get kicked out of heaven by him, is because it was humiliating. But as Thomas Aquinas says, anybody in heaven has what they call prelation over anything below them. And so those in hell, anybody in heaven can cast out any demon in hell, God permitting. But St. Michael is, most people are
Totally
aware of it. St. Michael
serious.
is actually the guardian angel of the elect. So those who...
Michael's the guardian angel of the Jews, actually.
God has pre-chosen that they're going to go to heaven. So he's the guardian angel of the elect. So that meant that that's why it was his job to kick out the demons from the company of the angels that remained faithful, who were the elect. And so he's the one that kicked him out of heaven. Because he's the guardian angel of the elect, that also means that he became the guardian angel of the Jews.
Oh, I told you.
Religion in the beginning, because they were the chosen people. But once, according to the fathers of the church, they apostatized and rejected.
Oh, we have the Jewish angel protection now because we drink the magic Messiah blood, actually.
Christ. They ceased being the chosen religion.
He's our angel now, Jews.
And now it's transferred to Christians who believe in Christ. They are now those who are he's the guardian angel of the elect, of those of us who believe in Christ. And so that's actually also why historically,
my guardian angel.
The saints have talked about how when a person who is destined to go to heaven dies, it's Saint Michael who accompanies them into God's presence.
Oh, cool story, bro.
So we're the chosen people now.
Oh,
Anybody who believes in Christ is chosen.
We was chosen.
Which is actually the big mistake that people make, is still thinking that they're the Jews are the chosen people. They were.
We're the spiritual Jews now. We're the spiritual Semites. Inwardly Jewish. Circumcised hearts. The true Israel.
But they rejected their inheritance. They refused to accept Christ. Because even the Jewish religion...
Dude, these fucking Jewish fairy tales.
Lead up to and apart
they broke their covenant and it's our covenant now, actually.
This is why Christ was so harsh on them. The first time I read this, I was stunned. St. Thomas Aquinas actually makes the observation. He said that the prophets and the patriarchs of the Jews actually knew that God was triune, and they knew he was going to become incarnate. They knew this because you see this in the book of Isaiah.
See, the Jews know Jesus is the Messiah. They're just so evil. They just want to reject him and kill him to save you, because you wouldn't be saved without it. And they're going to believe in the end, so it's all good, though.
Revealed in the book of Isaiah, and it's revealed in very...
Yeah, some guardian angel got you Vatican II and Nostra Aetate, exactly. No, that's just not real Catholics.
Various parts of Scripture that so the Jews actually...
Neo-Jews.
So harsh on the Jews that when he came, he said, you guys knew this. You're calling me that make myself equal to the Son of God. You knew that God was going to become incarnate. It's basically what's being taught there. So the point being is that the fact that they apostatized and rejected ultimately God in the end, which is why they ceased being the chosen people, which is why God gives them that, as I mentioned before, he gives them a...
Hold on. Hey, I hate how they do this. You saying they ceased to become the chosen people is still granting that their chosenness was ever real to begin with. You're affirming these chosen status, and they still are the once chosen people, granting them that. And funny how they've been saying this. This is just like what Paul describes. They've been saying this for 2,000 years, and what has it led us to? This isn't gonna... The neo-Jews aren't going to defeat the old Jews. The new Moshiach believers are not going to defeat the old Moshiach believers. You're just all become Moshiach believers.
Maybe I didn't mention it to you, but he gave them one generation. So after Christ dies, in the year 70 AD, the Romans destroy Jerusalem, and that's why Now the Jews aren't, none of the Jews are practicing their religion because none of them are offering sacrifice. That doesn't mean that they're not living up according to certain parts of the Old Testament and things of that sort, but they're not.
Yeah. Let's let the demon hunter explain to you how Christians are the new Jews now. The totally serious demon hunter, exorcist.
Performing the ceremonial laws.
Interesting.
Interesting. Oh, that's really interesting if you're a retard. Oh, hold on. What do you say, spiritual temple?
And that's why they're so driven to rebuild the temple.
So they can do their religion in full again?
So would that be your responsibility to run?
9 cent $5 on Rumble. Hell isn't a place, she's a goddess, they're so stupid.
Oh, yeah? Hades was a place, though, right? Not a goddess?
Before we move into shape-shifting and that kind of stuff, I'm just curious. So would that be your responsibility to record a new name with a new personality?
So we don't necessarily record it, but we are actually in the process of building a database. So that exorcists
a demon database? This sounds serious.
Access to the database because some of the common ones like Satan, Lucifer, and those things, or even some of the more common ones like Abaddon, who's the demon of destruction. You'll get, you can find out a fair amount of information about these guys.
Dude, they're like they should just make Pokemon cards for all the demons that you're doing exorcisms of. What a clown!
There's a lot of ones that are less known. And so exorcists come across them. I've come across demons that other exorcists haven't. They've come across demons that I've never even heard of or nobody's ever even heard of.
It's almost like they're just making them up, bullshitting. Dude, if it weren't for Christ's brain, stupid, charlatan, delusional, con artist grifters like this would have no place at all. They wouldn't be on podcasts with millions of subscribers and going viral all week. If it weren't for the Christ brain.
And it seems authentic, etc. So we want to get a database so that going forward, exorcists, if they come across something,
FBI demon list,
spend all the time doing the research, they can just quickly go take a look at the database and get a sense of this is what the guy's weaknesses are. This is what he got out in these these cases. This is what got him out. This is his history. Because like the god of Isis or Osiris, those are Egyptian gods, but those are also demons. So if you know what those are, then you can actually, don't have to go and read a bunch of Egyptian in order to know what these guys are.
Oh, dude, have you seen Demons, Osiris? Oh, dude, the demons, the ancient, all the Gentile gods are all demons, and we all got to worship the Jewish God, guys. K-pop demon hunters, yeah. He's the Christian demon hunter.
Can a demon possess multiple people at one time?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, dude, good question. Totally.
I had a case of that. Well, 2 cases.
Dude, I wonder what demon possessed me, bro.
The same possessor was possessing 2 sisters.
Can you read my horoscope and tell me which pagan demon has possessed me? Dude, I'm possessed by Thor, bro. Possessed by the power of thunder. Dude, add me to the database, bro. I'm possessed by Thor. I just want to go sacrifice my baby now and eat some beef jerky because of Thor. Oh, dude, he's not Jewish. Burn him at the stake. He's not Jewish. Can demons possess dogs? No, only pigs. The dunking demon.
Blood related. And so when we would do sessions with one, the other one would manifest from time to time outside of the session.
Holy shit.
So
Holy shit.
We had to do a lot of stuff to keep them, from what we call cross animation, which is where, when they're around each other, the demons are going to manifest. So you see that from time to time.
Dude, you guys want to have a demon meetup? Yeah. Thank you, Nima. Amalek says, meanwhile, the religious leaders are talking about how God is guiding their missiles into Iran and ours are making demon databases. Dude, we're really going to get to the bottom of the Satanist matrix with the demon list. We're coming for you demons. You watch out.
Where someone who's possessed, they'll get around someone else who's possessed, and whoever has the lower demons in them will be the one where the lowest demon will manifest in the presence of the bigger demon. But they
Proof?
They can possess more than once.
Source?
They generally can only act on one thing at a time.
Okay.
But Thomas Aquinas says that they can act on a number of different things at the same time if it all falls under the same concept.
Oh, dude, you're telling me the genius Thomas Aquinas was demon-pilled? Dude, you think you're smarter than Thomas Aquinas? Well, you don't even know about the demons, bro.
The power of Christ compels you.
Cool idea.
The power of Christ.
So, for example, someone can juggle where they're keeping several things in the air at once. Demons can act on, like, I'm going to act on these 3 people that I'm possessing because I'm, my access to them is the same, and so they can act on 3.
Dude, this is Christian Science right here. This is a Christian scientist.
Normally, they don't do that.
Dude, you're going to need to sit down for this, bro.
Demons were false gods at some point. You said God of a Norse god, Egyptian gods, Moloch.
Yeah. Demons, bro.
Not
Baphomet.
Yeah, so all the gods of the Gentiles are demons, which is...
Who told you that? Jews? Yeah, all the myths and archetypes and heroes of the Gentiles are actually demons. The Jews told us so.
Such a CIA creation.
Yeah.
Question: could Israel be forced to abandon itself and move into the cleansed lands in Ukraine?
Nah. No. They're not abandoning itself. There's no new Khazari. I think that's all stupid nonsense. They want the Temple Mount. They want the third temple. They want Jerusalem. They want Judea and Samaria. Yeah, dude, they're like totally demons, bro. All the white gods and all the non-Jewish gods are demons. Like the Jews told us so, bro.
Moloch.
Yeah. Not
Baphomet.
Yeah, so all the gods of the Gentiles are demons, which is true. I mean, the only ones I haven't come across are ones like for the Romans. Like I haven't come across Mars or Jupiter or something like that.
What?
But did you
Hail Apollo? Hail Apollo!
The Norse ones are taking them. They're rising up because of the they're being introduced or being used in video games and things of that sort that the young men are doing.
Rising up.
Those. But not all the demons made themselves out to be a god to someone else. So Satan never really did, even though he wants people to worship him. He doesn't have a specific religion. He wants his own.
And they all fall under him.
They do, yeah.
Thorsrune sent $5 on Rumble. I was once possessed by a familiar spirit. Its name was Liquor and his minion Mabel Whiskey. I fell unconscious and it attacked me. I woke up sore in my bed. True story.
Did you wake up and want to read the Bible like Tucker when he was attacked by his demons? I bet. Dude, the way they sit around like adults talking about like Harry Potter and supernatural nonsense like this, and then this gets seen millions of times by so many brain dead Christ brains. Truly blackpilling. I go out and do interviews on the street, and it's just like they believe in the rapture, they believe they believe it all. All the Jewish fairy tale delusional prophecies. Jewish demonology. Hating all the non-Jewish mythologies of the world because the Jews told you to.
What about Greek gods?
Yeah, it's the same. Some I've seen exorcists seeing, some we haven't. So, I suspect at some point some exorcist has come across, Venus or whatever, but we just don't hear about it too often.
And so when we get into,
he just doesn't know about any of those, so he's not able to make them up.
Looking back through time, when we're talking about Norse gods, Baal, Moloch, Greek god, any gods that, throughout history, does that mean that those gods were introduced by a demon?
Very often. So what will happen is, historically, either the demon will possess somebody in a particular culture, and then from there, the person kind of becomes like this oracle from which the rituals and the worship is designed, and the people are swayed into doing it.
Dude, this guy's just making shit up as he goes along. Dude,
wonder how dumb this goyim sometimes can be.
Dude, enough alcohol. I hope you don't bring on any like non-drinker former alcoholics to your studio, because looks like a trigger zone.
You're not going to have a case where they're actually going to appear as a general rule, although that has happened historically, where demons will appear as angels of light. And claim to be, from God, and then say this is what you're supposed to do, and getting the person to start their own religion. We've seen that happen a couple of times, actually.
No, dude. Oh, it's when the Jews make up a religion and tell you they're chosen and speak for God, then it's true. Look at this. 7,000 likes on this interview, by the way, just on the Twitter upload alone, from this former CIA drug runner, Navy SEAL, disinfo slop merchant, Sean Ryan, always trying to scare you about demons so you believe in Jesus. That is the whole shtick.
One in more modern history and one year 600. So we've seen those particular things happen.
What was the one in modern history?
The Mormons.
Mormons started by demons, not just some huckster, charlatan, scam artist. No, demons.
There's a lot of the Mormons out there are not going to be happy that I said that, but the angel that appeared to him,
Archie said $5 people hope that Tucker runs for president, at least to shake up platforms. Burr, I prefer politicians to lack religion as a prerequisite. BC, if someone can believe in such fairy tales, then they can't think clearly about politics. Remember Tech Lead.
Yeah. Tucker is such a clown, such an idiot. He calls evolution a satanic conspiracy and says he believes in the Bible because he got attacked by demons in his bed. No way that guy's ever getting my vote. I don't care if he exposes Chabad every day of his life.
The angel that appeared to him, it actually gets to the...
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm sure. Joseph Smith really saw an angel, but it was a demon. Yeah. Checks out.
The line from St. Paul, which is actually on the outside of the cathedral in Salt Lake, if I'm not mistaken, but out on the outside, it's, even if an angel were to preach to you.
Thunderstorm 9 sent $5 on Rumble. This priest is having a verbal bail movement.
Dude, I can't believe it. Nobody should be taking somebody like this clown seriously.
So you have those particular things that are actually, and the other thing is that, at least in the relationship with the Mormons, I don't want to get too deep into it, but that it's actually, it's a modified form of Freemasonry anyway.
That's true. Mormonism was started by Freemasons, not demons.
Before we move into...
Dude, that's so crazy. The gods of all the Gentiles are demons. The Jews told us so. The priest is clearly a grifting sociopath. Yeah, that sums it up. Here's on Sean Ryan, Tucker Carlson the other day talking about the supernatural demons being real, and we all got to believe in Jesus.
The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural is not real. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. Why?
And your guys' main interest is convincing everybody that it is, and the Bible's real, and the Jewish covenants and prophecies are real. They're trying to convince you demons are real to scare you into believing the Jewish Messiah. That's what's actually happening here. That's the game.
The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural is not real. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. Why has that been so important for 80 years for you to convince me the supernatural is not real? Why do you care if I think the supernatural is real?
There's just no evidence that it is. Only stupid hucksters and pseudoscience. Dude, they've been promoting Genesis and the Bible and demons and angels and messiahs for 2,000 years. What do you mean? Is Trump trying to convince you that the supernatural is not real?
Ask motive. Like, it's not a profit motive. Like, does it make them rich to deny that there's supernatural forces? No.
What? Oh, are you doubting my demon encounter? Are you questioning my supernatural Jesus?
Are you questioning my faith? You want to go?
Forces? No. What is that? And I don't know the answer, but the obvious answer is, well, because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces.
Oh, yeah. See? Yeah, Sean Ryan, look. Yo, if you deny the demons, if you deny the Jewish demons and the evil pagan gods and don't worship Jesus, well, then you are a pedophile. You do like the demons.
But that they take physical form, that they're not just like some ethereal, they're not just shadows floating around, specters, fog, that they're physical. Like they're as real as the arm of your chair. People are subject to the supernatural. So they do things that are not natural, like kill themselves. That's why we're the only species that kills itself. Right? So when you kill yourself, whether slowly or all at once, you're being acted on by forces outside of you, spiritual forces.
Oh, my God.
I'm just trying to apply logic here.
Yeah, just logic. Just trying to be logical. Dude, he's in on the joke.
The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural. You kill your spirit.
Hold on. I wanted to see how that probably had like 1 million likes. Hold on. Reopen, close window. $13,000 likes for that one. Dude. Oh, they don't want you to believe. Is that why all the big, huge accounts and podcasters in government are always shilling Jesus and the Bible? Five, 6,000 likes for this one too. Joe Rogan, Alex Jones also doing the demonic, interdimensional, shape-shifting, reptilian, fallen angels bullshit to scare you to believe in Jesus.
So they're from here, and they've been here for thousands of years, whatever they are. And it's pretty clear to me that they're spiritual entities, whatever that means. They're supernatural, and which is to say, supernatural means above the natural, above the observable.
It means there's like no proof at all, cannot be proven, and no evidence for. That's what it means.
Nature, and they don't behave according to the laws of science, as
neither do you,
measured by people, and they've been here for a long time. And there's a ton of evidence they're under the ocean and under the ground. So, like with that fact,
ton of evidence.
So they're from here.
Under the ocean, interdimensional demons, fallen angels hiding under the ocean and underground. Okay. Tucker writes yesterday, pray that the spell breaks and the world is saved. Oh, I do. I hope the prophecy. You can barely hear me. It looks like it's up all the way. Maybe turn up your volume. The spell breaks. I hope the Jesus spell breaks. I hope the Bible prophecy spell breaks. Michael Tracy says, of course, the solution is not to take irrational political action to constrain the war-making powers of Donald Trump, which Tucker Carlson helped elect, by the way. He's like, oh, break the spell. It's like, bro, you are under the spell. You're promoting Jesus and demons and Donald Trump. It's to sit around and prayerfully hoping that some unspecified spell is broken, ideally as you queue up the next podcast episode. Yeah, let's just pray that we're saved, guys, from the demons. Hey, Peter Thiel, who's always pushing Antichrist bullshit also and funding all this right-wing stuff. Peter Thiel promotes using Antichrist to scare you to believe in Jesus. His buddies Eric Weinstein in the Joe Rogan intellectual dork web sphere, mainstream alternative media sphere. Eric Weinstein, who is a total crackpot, by the way. I've been watching Professor Dave videos debunk this guy. Total retard. Charlatan. He's the dumb guy's smart guy. Talking about interdimensional beings.
People, I think that keep hearing about
We're just in La La Land. The mainstream, the Candace Owens, the Alex Jones, the Joe Rogan, the Tucker Carlson. It's just clown show. They got us wasting our time worried about flat earth and demons and fallen angels and prophecies and all of this nonsense. Keeping everybody retarded and distracted and confused and demoralized and paralyzed with all this bullshit by these pseudo-intellectual grifters.
I keep hearing about interdimensional beings, which causes me to want to throw up in my mouth.
Oh, good.
I
Me
think that's
too.
colloquial.
Do you know what the
Interdimensional means you're going between dimensions, so I don't understand the word interdimensional beings. I think it's really beings that could
Corn Pop the Bad Dude 1 cent $5.
Thank you, Corn Pop.
You ever read Tragedy and Hope? Quigley predicts a golden age of America followed by a downfall. The book was published in 1966.
I've heard about it and seen parts of it, but never read the whole thing. Isn't the thing like 1,000 pages too?
beings that could transverse other dimensions or traverse other dimension.
Does it mean something technical that's being
that's interdimensional?
Again, let's.
We move through 3 spatial dimensions, so that makes us interdimensional already.
Okay,
and we move through time allegedly in one direction.
So David Grush, I believe, used this phrase in a hearing, and they talked about holography.
Yeah, Dave's not a physicist. That's
I know. I understand that. So what I'm trying to look again, the point isn't to say whether somebody knows what they're talking about, but to say assume that somebody does. Assume that the plumber comes to you and says, "Wow, I was just out at some crazy base, and I don't even know what these words mean, but here's what I heard." Right. So very often I'm just trying to. I don't care.
Yeah,
about,
I think he's heard that from his briefings given to him on the crash retrieval program. I just, he can't tell me that level of information at the classified level because I'm not cleared for it. So he can verbally, on a superficial level, discuss it in the open, but I don't know it sounds like he's garbling stuff at times. So,
and if we had an adversary,
isn't this the podcast? I think a Jewish guy runs this podcast. He had Joe Rogan on. This is where Joe Rogan was on this spaceship background shilling Jesus stuff. I remember in a clip.
It was aware of multiple temporal dimensions where we're only aware of one. So we have an arrow of time, and they would have
multiple,
like a right-hand rule of time. It would be have you thought much about the threat assessment as to what capabilities
No, nobody does threat assessments like that, but I would say that is something worth having a threat assessment done on.
Dude, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
That the plumber comes to you and says, "Wow, I was just at people."
Harry Reid did it and speculatively. It was
assessment as to what capabilities but
it was. We know this to be true. Even I can't get into that level. He did it the wrong way, and that's why it got denied. If we did it the proper way,
dude, this guy looks really trustworthy.
In the security apparatus,
I trust little guys that look like this to make outrageous claims. What was that judo spell? Hold on, let's do this one.
Leave, because the prayer of the church is being applied to him to try and cast him out. We're commanding him to leave, because the demons know the authority structure perfectly. And so they know when the priest has received the faculties from the bishop that he has the authority to command him to leave. And so this is...
Demons are very up to date on church hierarchy.
We even saw this with Christ. So Christ said, he said, "By my name you'll cast out demons." What he did not say is, "By my name you'll cast out all demons." And how do we know that? Because he also says later to the apostles, these types of demons can only be cast out by prayer and fasting. Okay, you still use Christ's name, but there's other things. Well, the authority of the church, so when Christ said to the apostles, "All authority has been given to me, go therefore and baptize all nations," he deputized the apostles and gave them an authority which then is passed on to us as exorcists when we're doing that. That's how the fathers talk about this lineage of authority being passed. That authority, then the demons know that you have that authority. And if you first start out, doing a diagnostic and you're praying over somebody, if the demon manifests, he might take your beating for a little while, but then at a certain point, he's just going to say, "Where's your authority?" This is one of the reasons why Protestants have a certain degree of efficacy by using Christ's name, because it has a force of its own. And they might even do prayer and fasting and that type of thing. But there are certain...
Dude, nothing the demons fear more than the name of Yeshua. Works like magic. You just say the name Yeshua and the demon just, like kryptonite to the demons. How ineffective are these demons that whenever they attack somebody, it makes them want to go believe in Jesus? Talk about backfiring strategy.
Of possession or certain levels of possession where they end up on our doorstep because they can't seem to get them liberated. And so that's when, once a priest has jurisdiction, then the demons, well, they don't ask where your authority is because they already know where it's from, because it's been infused in their knowledge that the bishop told you that you could do this.
Dude, what a joke. This is the other top alien UFO expert dude, Stephen Greer. Let's see what he has to say here on Redacted.
The station.
The Disclosure Project. I heard rumors about this guy. This guy was accused of like doing a bunch of stuff in Israel at one point years ago.
At this point, I do believe the train is leaving the station. It is going to come out, but how it comes out, how it's spoken about, if you start dragging this into the aliens or demons working at the right hand of Satan and this kind of nonsense. Now we're headed towards what? An interplanetary holy war? Right. Well, this you might as well just blow the whole planet up. This is madness, stupidity. So and this is being talked about this way in serious circles, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's just the lunatic fringe of UFO.
Members of Congress. I've literally talked to members of Congress who are echoing exactly what you just said and what you're concerned about. So
extremely dangerous, my friend. This is how you end up with what Prince Hans Adam von Liechtenstein told me. That is, they had a long-term plan to create an Armageddon situation to get rid of billions of people and have a catastrophic event. So look, we have to choose what we want to do when we grow up. I started the project when I was 35, and now I'm 70. In June, I'll be 71. So I'm getting a bit long in the tooth and tired. But
35 years of claiming alien disclosure is about to happen.
I will tell you that at this point, I think it's going to come to a head, but I'm very concerned about how it's guided. Excuse me.
Well,
how does this come out? It's not that it's coming out. It's like, what's cherry picked? What's the truth, the whole truth?
Corn
Pop, thank you.
$5 on Rumble. Hey, do you know where I can find your oldest videos and in what year you posted your first vid?
No, some of the years before BitChute, my YouTube videos are all deleted, all banned.
Tractates it is in the month of Nisan that Amalek will be destroyed and the Jews will emerge from the Klippot. He predicts victory until Passover, just as Trump said 4 to 5 weeks.
We got a clip. Rabbi Yitzhak Shapira says that on his YouTube. I haven't seen a clip of that one yet. We need to get that clipped. Alex Jones is down for the Holy War and the interdimensional demons.
They're using every angle they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people they've got to get back to the Word of God. There is no political solution to a spiritual problem. We've got to get back to God. I'm excited because we may be able to see Jesus Christ. That's exciting. But all of this death, all of this killing.
We certainly pray for Israel. We need to pray for the Palestinian nation. We need to pray for America.
Well, we know the Antichrist tries over and over again, but I believe the Bible says there's many Antichrists, but there's the one big one. I agree. They're trying this. They're setting the pattern up now. Whether this is it or whether it comes in 20 years or 100 years or 5 years or right now, we need to be ready for the return of Christ. Thank you so much, Jay. They're using every angle they can.
Be ready for the return.
If you are agnostic about a god/gods, shouldn't you also be agnostic about origin of life? Thoughtful face emoji, I am. I think it is arrogant for anyone to say they know for sure.
Do I know for sure about the origin of life? No, it could have been, life could have seeded here from somewhere else in the universe. But I definitely am not an agnostic on evolution. So if evolution is true, you just keep going back to more simpler and simpler organisms. Eventually you get to something very, very simple. that could be a natural phenomena that happens just by how chemicals bond together. So I don't claim to know for sure. They don't have it exactly figured out, although they are close. But no. No, I don't believe in just creationism is just like magic. It's just saying like, oh, it just like magically happened. And it's a non-explanation. Like, what do you think happened? Some god came down and placed the first cell or something? Or do you deny evolution too?
$5 Sean Ryan's bar set piece reminds me of the bar scene in The Shining film. Same creepy vibe.
Yeah, it's like a rock bottom. It's like a rock bottom type of club. I would never have a bunch. Just put like, it's like the douchey thing. I just want a set, dude, a big set, two big chairs, and just hundreds of big bottles like we're at the bar behind me, bro. I would never want that for my background. Exclusive report. Is Jared Kushner the Antichrist? You mean the title of my video from 2017?
They should be done for the.
Now, let's see what Jones is saying about Jared Kushner as the Antichrist.
When you look at everything Kushner's doing and everything he's involved in, and a few things they missed, he's been involved with the groups, pushing the red heifer and its sacrifice and all that to bring in the third temple and the Jewish Messiah. And then a lot of the Christian Zionists think get the third temple built because then they should be done for the Antichrist to come back. I say we contain him and all the rest of it and let God work on his timeline. Anybody thinking you're going to manipulate the timeline and you're going to make God show up like you're calling DoorDash, that's really dangerous. And Christ talked about that a lot. He said, anybody saying the hour of the time, anybody that tells you they know what's going to happen.
Dugan shared this video. Thank you, Jack Stone. That's right.
Those people are of the devil, okay?
They're of the devil.
I have thought for...
Dude, Jones is like, the Antichrist is here. Prophecy is fulfilled. We're in the end times. But if they say it, they're the devil.
8-9 years about saying what I'm about to say here today on air.
Wait, what did he say about 8-9 years? You mean 8-9 years I was covering it and doing videos on this?
8-9 years about saying what I have thought for 8-9 years about saying what I'm about to say here today on air.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't do it previously just because I don't actually get into the weird esoteric stuff, the type of stuff people love.
Yes, you do. You always do. What are you talking about?
Many times when other people cover something, then I kind of get the blame for covering it. And it's not like I don't mind that. It's just that I like to stick with what we've got. Like we've got Epstein, a whole bunch of emails with the CIA, with Mossad, running ISIS, running Al-Qaeda, getting them money, getting them weapons to destabilize countries. And of course, as the top Trilateral Commission member, he would be doing things like that. And there's new emails that they've dug out that are just incredible. That's meat and potatoes. But when you start getting into, is Jared Kushner the devil or is he the Antichrist? That's quite a headline. I mean, that'll be viral right there. But I don't just do that because it's viral. I could do this stuff all day. A whole series. Is the Pope the Antichrist? Is Trump the Antichrist? Is this person the Antichrist? And it's a super popular thing to discuss, but really it's overall diversion. Because I don't think the current Pope's the Antichrist or Trump. That said, Jared Kushner's dad, if you look into him, really creepy, really weird. You look at Kushner and the stuff he's involved in the groups and paying double the money for the most expensive real estate in the world, a building named 666 or at 666. And him always involved internationally with these globalists and all the peace deals, and then being involved with Google and the globalists undermining the first Trump administration. I was very pleased.
Undermining Trump. Come on, dude. Trump put him in charge. He's not undermining Trump. Alex Jones always finds a way to try to spin things to absolve Trump of any wrongdoing. Oh, they just tricked him. He's surrounded with the wrong people. He fell into their trap. All the time.
Early on that he was sidelined during the campaign. They said he wasn't going to be big in the administration. But the reality is he is in the administration heavily.
And I told you.
He just flies under the radar. And he just comes off as kind of a vampire-like character. Rarely talks. You know, when he does, it's very robotic. He makes my skin crawl. And then his actions do as well. But I had already seen a lot of this eschatology, biblical research before about him. And I went and looked it up, and it was accurate. Plus, I already knew most of it biblically, so I knew it was accurate when I went and checked it.
Is he talking about my video? I had a big viral video about Jared Kushner and Chabad Lubavitch and him, them calling him the Messiah for his peace deals. And I believe it was 2017, maybe 2018.
Couple kind of joking around about it, but they do a good job covering it, other than the Cheshire Cat smiles on their faces. Because, of course, they're saying, oh, we don't mean, you know, this to be mean or anything, but here it is. Or we're not saying this is prophecy. We're just saying here it is. But when you look at everything Kushner's doing and everything he's involved in, and a few things they missed, he's been involved with the groups, pushing the red heifer and, you know, its sacrifice and all that to bring in, you know, the third temple and the Jewish Messiah.
I'm not so sure Jared Kushner has, look at this, has anything to do with the red heifer. He might. Look, here's the video. A year ago, and this is from 2019, so 2018 I must have posted this video. Is Jared Kushner the Jewish Messiah? 600,000 views. That's the old days of YouTube.
And then a lot of the Christian Zionists think, get the third temple built, because then they should be done for the Antichrist to come back. And then you've also got the Antichrist, before he launches all this and takes over the third temple and the rest of it.
Another video I did.
And sets up his base in Gaza. And that he's the mayor of Gaza. Is basically how it's described in the Bible. And now it's Kushner heading up the rebuilding and operation in Gaza. And so you start adding all this together, and it made my skin crawl, made the hair on the back of my neck stand up last night when I saw this short little video of this couple, because you can check all of this and it's all true, and then more. So, but I want to explain something about the Antichrist. The Bible says there have been
Look at this.
Antichrist, but there's the final. There's an Antichrist spirit.
Look at this thumbnail I made. This was probably when he was shilling Kushner. He was like, Kushner, he's really smart. He's a good guy. He's doing a good job. Remember that? Look at Kushner, Third Temple. Back when Alex Jones was shilling Kushner. This is the thumbnail video I did. Here it is. Alex Jones shills for Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner can speak. He actually talks. He says Trump's kept his promises. I want to play some of these historic clips, though, of Jared Kushner. He speaks. He actually spoke from there at the dedication of the embassy that opens today. I can show you some of those photos. Put them up on screen. They're on Infowars.com, Newswars.com. There's a good one there with Ivanka Trump. Embassy, United States of America, Jerusalem, Israel. Donald J. Trump, President. Michael J. Pence, Vice President. In fact, I hardly ever do this. I'm going to play Kushner twice. Wow, why hasn't Kushner been speaking? He looks pretty authoritative, looks strong. Got a nice gleam in the eye.
This is what he was originally saying. Now he's like, he gives me the creeps. Maybe he's the Antichrist.
Sounds nervous, but hey, man, get over it, bro. You come off strong.
Strong.
We'll talk about this more when we come back, because I don't want to run Jared down. He looks like a smart guy, good-looking guy. Clearly they're grooming him to be president. Great. Clearly they're grooming him to be president. Great. I don't want to run Jared down. He looks like a smart guy, good-looking guy. Clearly they're grooming him to be president. Great. Clearly they're grooming him to be president. Great. But Jared Kushner, he's obviously smart. He's a good-looking guy. He's Trump's son-in-law. I support Trump. I think Trump's smart. Trump needs people he can really trust. He trusts Jared. And so I don't have a problem with him having a national security clearance and the things he's doing.
Oh.
The communist Chinese ran the Obama administration, but, the left doesn't want Jared Kushner to have a security clearance. What does that tell you?
I got to repost this.
But out in the whole right-wing sphere, I've been hearing for 3 years, since he was president-elect, that Jared Kushner is just the worst thing since gonorrhea.
Sweeping for Kushner.
But those are the same people that tell me Benjamin Netanyahu is the worst thing since death.
Oh, the evil Nazis.
The man in the moon. And I got tricked into these White House battles of who's who and, you know, what's going on, Faith. But, I mean, sometimes when I hear somebody so bad from everybody, they might be good. Kind of like they're always saying, I'm the worst guy in the world. And I'm not.
See, Kushner's actually good, guys. Trump trusts him. He's a smart, good-looking guy. That's what Jones was saying years ago when I was exposing Kushner.
Wilhelm Mate sent $5 on Rumble. Jonestown seems to groan more every year. Eventually people are just going to watch him groan for hours.
I got to share Alex Jones shills for Jared Kushner. My video from 2019. My compilation. Oops, hold on. My compilation of Jones shilling for Jared Kushner from 2019. Okay, well, that's loading.
These people that are demonically inclined and involved in all this stuff, they mimic the Bible. They believe that it's their master plan and that actually they're going to get power in the end. So they actually fulfill the prophecy themselves. So just because Kushner's running around trying to fulfill the prophecy and trying to push God to speed up his timeline, that's what the Christian Zionists are saying. That's what they're teaching in the military. I'm all for the military to be Christian and for all, but to teach them, no, we're speeding up the timeline. We're pushing to make Christ come back. We're pushing to go ahead and have the war with the Muslims now. I say we contain them and all the rest of it and let God work on his timeline.
Jared Kushner meets with the Rebbe. Got his Rebbe dollar.
Anybody thinking you're going to manipulate the timeline and you're going to make God show up like you're calling DoorDash, that's really dangerous. And Christ talked about that a lot. He said, anybody saying the hour of the time, anybody that tells you they know what's going to happen, those people are of the devil. Okay? So I do not pretend to know God's master plan. I can see it in hindsight, how the Lord works in mysterious ways, and how something will be really terrible happening, but it's always in God's plan, even my own personal life. So I've seen that my whole life.
It's always God's plan.
God. But Jared Kushner undermined Trump, leaked on Trump, is a globalist, is deeply embedded, and the doors are open to the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all the royalty, the Arabic royalty. I mean, this is the guy. And
look at this. Kushner will be back for more Abraham Accords and the fall of Edom in Gog and Magog War, December 2023.
And he's just involved. I mean, I remember when he bought that building 666 there in the most expensive street in the world. It wasn't even really for sale. And he just said, I have to have it. They said, okay, here's this price. He said, yes, I want it. 666. So
he literally said, the guy from WeWork, a Kabbalist, I think his name is Adam Newman, he said something about, or he chose the number for the company valuation based on gematria. So 1.8, Kushner paid $1.8 billion for it, and Kushner was awarded for the Abraham Accords the Grove of the Nations, where they planted 18 trees to honor Jared Kushner. It's odd.
This is creepy.
Creepy.
And I'm not saying he's the Antichrist, because I don't think he is, but
and me neither. I don't believe in actual Antichrist. Or I believe if he does the peace deals and if he's on the board of peace of Gaza and he has advances more in politics or influence, then maybe they will claim maybe some rabbis will claim he's playing a messianic role. That's the extent that I'll claim.
He just oozes evil energy, though. And the point is, if you got a demon down here paving the way for the Antichrist, you're going to see it doing all this Antichrist work and say, is that the Antichrist? And I'd say, no, it's more like the Antichrist secretary. But yes, Jared Kushner, I believe, is an agent of Satan. Let's go up.
Whose face is on the temple coin for the third temple that's about to happen in Jerusalem?
King Cyrus and Donald Trump.
Who is King Cyrus?
King Cyrus is the Persian king who gave the right to Israel to rebuild their temple. So Trump is basically fulfilling that same role as King Cyrus did.
And did you know that the Israel Heritage Foundation gave Donald Trump the Prince of Peace Award after he brokered the Abraham Accords? And then again in 2023, they gave him the Crown of Jerusalem.
So he's making a lot of peace in the
Dude, I covered all of this shit exactly when it went down at the time. And then Alex Jones, these new TikTokers come on, make a video covering the basics, and Alex Jones is like, look at these people, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. December 2023. I've been warning everyone Trump and Kushner will be back to finish their Kabbalistic endgame. Okay? Everybody wants to talk about Professor Zhang. Oh, he predicted something.
Garrett sent $5. What
this is nailing it.
100,000 views on a YouTube vid get you back in the day?
I don't know. Not much. I never made much of anything from ad revenue on there. Look at this. Called it.
Middle East, right?
Are the people of Jerusalem expecting that Trump is going to herald in the rebuilding of the blasphemous third temple?
Yes.
The beast in Revelation has 10 horns, but one stands out among them all. What is so special about the one horn?
It's boastful and speaks blasphemy.
And what does a horn...
Blasphemy. Yo, this, of course, this is why they're the ones. This is the viral video. This is what Jones's cover, because they sit up there and call it blasphemy over and over again, right? What's going on here? Why did that not work? Hold on. Look at this prediction. Kushner will also be back for peace in the Middle East and more in quotes, peace in the Middle East. Like how Trump is declaring him the peace president and all this peace shit. October 29th, 2023.
Horn generally symbolize
a king.
And who is incredibly braggadocious and proud.
It's gonna be the best wall ever.
Never gonna see a temple like this. Could never be done. They said it could never be done.
But Donald Trump's name, if you use gematria, doesn't add up to a special 3-digit number, does it, Tati?
It does not. That is why we are not making any crazy prophecy here. We are just telling you what our two eyes see. He is the crowned King Cyrus about to bring in the building.
It's crazy how InfoWars and all these JQers won't talk about like, oh, Adam's been obsessed with this stuff for years. No, it's, hey, look at these this couple on TikTok that just started talking about Jews 5 minutes ago and covered this for the very first time. And from the Christian perspective also.
Which will bring in a certain 3-digit number, which
Antichrist.
The number equals the name of a man.
They need it. They want it. They need it.
Close to Donald Trump, who may have that number, Tati.
Mr. J. Kushner, who was also integral in bringing about the Abraham Accords and is now the special envoy for the Board of Peace in the Middle East.
So you're saying that there's something going on with this Kushner guy. Well, what building on Fifth Ave does he also own?
He owns 666 Fifth Avenue.
Wow.
The #1 most expensive real estate purchase in American history.
He paid a lot of money for that specific building because he wanted that number because he knew that it was for his name.
Who is heading up the rebuilding of Gaza?
Jared Kushner.
Where is Gaza?
In between Jerusalem and the sea.
Where does Daniel 11:45?
Look at this. Look at this one. This was another. I had several videos back on YouTube about Kushner. Hold on. Let me see where that one was. Open a new tab. Must watch. Is Jared Kushner Moshiach? 2019, February 2019. 7 years ago. Banned.
say that the Antichrist will make his tent
in between Jerusalem and the sea. We're not making any claim.
This is not a prophecy. I'm just saying, a lot of things are adding up. A lot of things.
There's a lot going on.
Things you wouldn't believe. They never thought we could add this many things up in such a short amount of time.
These people are cringe.
That amount of time.
Maranatha, comeback Christ. Also
Comeback Christ.
All right, so then I learned Kushner's heavily involved with the groups that want to build the third temple and want to sacrifice the red heifer, which they've actually already done. They've got in Texas, unblemished, unyoked red heifer, meaning and never pulled a plow.
And you know the dude, Adam King, is the one involved, but you haven't had him on to talk about it. Why are you ushering in the Antichrist, Adam King? Because Jesus is going to come down from the cloud and completely destroy you if you try.
And you can say, I don't believe in all this. You have to understand the occultists believe in the Bible even more than most Christians. But
Wait. Now we're blaming occultists? No, this is just Jews and Judaism, dude. Not occultist. This is Yahwehist.
They have this sick plan that they're actually going to win. And so we have to look at this, and because the Pentagon is teaching a twisted version of Christianity. It's all happening.
Twisted version. All right, there's Jones's coverage of that. Oh, hold on. 7%. Dude, look how slow the upload is going. I'll just have to save that and do it later, I guess. Hold on. Leave. We'll come back. 7,000 likes. Free indeed TikTok. Here's Jones when Jared Kushner and Mike Pompeo in Trump's first term, he went to Bilderberg, and Jones spun it that they're taking over Bilderberg. Also,
Jared
my clip from 2019. Watch the Kushner sweeping.
Jared Kushner announced he was going to Bilderberg. Then I started getting flooded with calls and emails to the office. Oh my God, Trump sold us out. Kushner's going to Bilderberg. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be very clear. I would go to Bilderberg if they asked me to go. What matters is what I stand for. We know Bilderberg was set up to bring in world government. We know Bilderberg's at one of the top globalist meetings that they denied existed, that the Rockefellers ran, that brought the Atlantic alliance of the Western elite in the United States with the Eastern Western elite after World War II. We know the history. I've made films about it. Going to a meeting is not being on the agenda.
See, making excuses for Kushner at Bilderberg in the first term.
All right, Robert Barnes, who is...
Okay, watch this one. A few years ago, Fat Jones, well, I guess the verdict is in on Trump, huh, Jones? You were controlled opposition, and you still are. Still running cover for Trump, still shilling Jewish prophecies. Adam Green was right. You were controlled opposition, and now you're saying all the shit I was saying almost a decade ago. Not all of it, but covering some of the same stuff.
Are definitely scared of him. So, but
play, damn it.
Oh, in fact, Luciferian dialed in, but not fully under the devil's control. So whereas I got out of the energetic meetings and Trump now literally believes in Jesus, so they've radicalized Trump. Okay.
Trump literally believes in Jesus, ladies and gentlemen. You can trust him. He believes in Jesus. It's all we really need to know is Donald Trump is totally awake. He's a Christian. Dude, how did this age? So I was always right about Jones. I was always right about Trump. I'm definitely right about Jesus and Christianity being fake and Jewish. I told you so. People want to say Fuentes is right or another coin in the Jones was right. They've been wrong. They've been wrong and shilling who they now say is Trump is Israel's errand boy. And now you're talking about Jared Kushner when you were glazing him before.
And destroy you. He knows he got set up with a shot. He's halfway come out against it.
Set up.
Now they're really horrified of Trump.
Yeah.
Because
Dude, Netanyahu and the Chabad occultist, as you say, totally terrified of Trump, dude, totally. You're just an idiot then. Maybe we shouldn't, just like you were wrong about that, you're wrong about Jesus and shilling Putin and all the shit you're doing. It's like, so you were wrong before and I was right, but now you think you're right and I'm wrong? It doesn't work that way. Jones. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Here's the one from Amalek. Let's see what the rabbi's saying here.
Go. As you've been noticing, the spirit of prophecy has been speaking all the way back in 2023 with the new Hamas, 2024 with the fall of Edom.
Thank you, Garrett.
Videos like the one that I spoke about, this word.
It is basically a nanomotor. No way it happened by accident. We can't make them today because we don't have the intelligence necessary.
No, it's not an accident. Through a little tiny incremental evolutionary changes. That's how it happens. Yes, I've heard of the number one debunked what is the term? Intelligent design. The number one Christian apologist intelligent design argument. It's got a rotor. You could never have a rotor. Yes, it can. Crazy pills?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Dude, Garrett, you're really impressed and convinced and persuaded by like low tier science illiterate Christian apologetics? You want to talk about intelligent design? How about male pattern baldness? How about our one set of teeth that rot out of our mouths by the time we're 40 years old? How about appendixes that don't really do anything but then blow up? How about the vast majority of all people getting cancer or having back pain? Does that seem intelligent design? How about having the same tube have our food and our breathing so that people can choke to death? How about putting the sexual parts right next to the ass? Yeah, feces. Dude, it's evolution, not intelligent design. Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Case of Egypt. What day?
How about a foreskin that needs to be chopped off? Good one, White Wizard. Exactly. How about ingrown hairs? How about, like, it's just, yeah, intelligent. How about so many women die in childbirth? Intelligent design? It's actually unintelligent design. Because it's an unguided blind mechanism. Putting the snack bar right next to the shitter, exactly. Yeah, 1-inch wieners? Not me, though. That's so funny.
As you've been noticing, the spirit of prophecy has been speaking.
Yeah, how about so many people can't see without glasses? Intelligent design? How about all the birth defects and genetic effects and children with cancer? Intelligent design?
As you've been noticing, the spirit of prophecy has been speaking all the way back in 2023 with the new Hamas, 2024 with the fall of Edom, and then a series of videos like the one that I spoke about, this word in Hebrew, Adir. This is the name of the F-35 airplane. Today, I want to try to answer a fundamental question. When this thing is going to come to an end, and when Iran is going to fall. I know you're probably wondering, and you say, Rabbi, you told me not to calculate the days, not to calculate end times. Now you're going to tell me when this war is going to come to an end? Brothers and sisters, the things that I want to reveal to you today has been revealed to us long ago by the great sages of Israel. I'm nearly here to connect the dots for you. I am asking in every request possible to share it and like it. It's a word of warning for those days. And it's a word of preparation.
This needs to be cut out. Amalek, you got to cut this kind of crap out of the clips.
The same tube and the Inuit and Icelandic people in Maasai on meat-only diets do not lose their teeth.
Yeah, they do, eventually. Well, God didn't put everybody on earth at the same place to have that diet now, did they? How about this? Intelligent design, mosquitoes, viruses, deadly bacteria, skin-eating flesh bacteria, intelligent design. Deadly disease-spreading mosquitoes, intelligent, God's intelligence.
Everybody, please read.
How about most of the water on earth? You drink it, it makes you sick. Intelligence?
The fall of Edom and make sure that you have a soft heart for the days ahead. The prophet Micah tells us in 7:15 the following: as of the days that you came out of Egypt, in the future, in the final Geulah, I will show you miraculous things. Brothers and sisters, we are about to see miraculous things in the world. We are about to see things from the heavens, unlike anything that we have ever experienced. And the prophet Micah has promised us that it's going to be like in the days of Egypt. What days are we talking about? Just today, Iran said, we can continue this war the way it's going for 6 months or more. Listen to me carefully. This war that you are watching right now will not last 6 months. I guarantee it to you. It will not go for another 6 months. I know exactly where we're going to see an epic.
Crypto says mosquitoes is how we know the devil is real, so Yahweh is real. Good logic, bro. I like that.
Change, transformation that is about to occur. Why? Because prophecy is cyclical. In Tractate Rosh Hashanah, it's saying that in Nisan we were redeemed, and in Nisan we'll be redeemed again. Now, I want to reveal to you a great secret. I wanted to wait for Milchemet HaEmunah to reveal it to you, but there is no more time, and I must be obedient to God, even if people might not read the book.
Good one. Intelligent design. How about white skin getting sunburned if you're outside for longer than 45 minutes on a hot day? Intelligent design? Or explain because people evolved to handle a certain type of weather?
Listen to what it says in Marit Ain, a very important commentary, and I quote,
The same date lining up?
they were redeemed, and in Nisan they are destined to be redeemed again, because it is time when every year the souls of Israel emerge from the klipot, the shells of impurity. At the time there is redemption as we depart from Sitra Achra, the realms of Satan, and come into holiness. You see, during the time of Nisan, which is the Hebrew word Nes, which is a miracle, we are departing from evil. There's something that happened, and we're about to experience miracle. I believe even this Nisan. Again, I'm not predicting the future. I am simply explaining to you what our rabbis have said. It continues in Marit Ain to say, this is also mentioned in a commentary called Re'aya Me'aimena. That is a portion of the Zohar. That on the day, listen carefully, on the day of Erev Pesach, there will be eradication of Amalek. The reason is that at the time, the souls of Israel were saved from the klipot, and therefore it is the time of eradication of Amalek. When will this thing come to an end? When are we going to see at least a fundamental change? It is going to happen as we enter the month of Nisan, and in Erev Pesach. I am not setting dates. I am telling you.
Sent $5. Mosquitoes seem to indicate a malevolent intelligence. Can you make a tiny self-replicating flying syringe? Irreducible complexity is the term you were looking for before, by the way. I'll shut up for now. Back to Armageddon.
No, it was intelligent design, what I was thinking of, but yeah, that's the other term too, irreducible complexity. And there's a good debunk to that too. It's like, so I forgot what it was about that. Another term that kind of like refutes it of what it actually is.
Pesach, according to the rabbis, we are going to see.
Oh, it's like unnecessary complexity. Life has a lot of unnecessary complex things because it's building blocks evolution unguided. There's like excessive complexity.
This regime completely collapsing. I am not saying that the rabbis are saying this. This is shocking. That means that we're only a few weeks away. Donald Trump said it's going to be 4 to 5 weeks. Well, 4 to 5 weeks is exactly Erev Pesach. How shocking it is.
Passover. The eve of Passover.
And he says, this is the meaning of our saying, that through the merit.
So we called when the attack would happen on the Zachor, the Remembering Amalek pre-Purim Sabbath day. And now they're saying, the rabbis are saying it's going to end on the eve of Passover, the festival, the first to emerge the Passover. And the souls of Israel came out as free people from the Klippa. Then we will merit that the seed of Esau will be cut off and Amalek will be erased. Wow, that's a hell of a quote. So associating Esau, which he says is Edom in America, that's Amalek that's going to be cut off, and we're the Klippa, the evil shards from the Sitra Achra. This fucking rabbi, dude.
Weeks. Well, 4 to 5 weeks is exactly Erev Pesach. How shocking it is. Marit Ayin continue. And he says, this is the meaning of our saying, that through the merit of the first 3, we will merit the final 3. The first to emerge is the festival of Pesach, in which the souls of Israel came out as free people from the Klippa. Then the merit of the seed of Esau will be cut and Amalek will be cursed. Brothers and sisters, we are about to see Amalek. This is an historic day for all human race, for all humanity, brothers and sisters. I need you to understand what I am telling you right now. The seed of Amalek more than likely will be cut off this Pesach. This is perfect on the calendar. And again, Micah tells us it's going to be like in the past. The future resembles the past. Tractate Rosh Hashanah tells us that as in Nisan was the first redemption, the Nisan will be the last redemption. Does that mean Mashiach is coming in 14 of Nisan? That's not what I am saying to you today, friend. I am telling you that the seed of Amalek is about to be cut off. It is coming. Marit Ayin continue and it says, after this, the holy temple will be built. My goodness. For the 3 commandments will appear in the 3 proper order, to according to their laws, in their progression, that bring about the eradication of Amalek and the building of the temple through the merit of festival of Sukkot, when Israel was atoned for and beloved ones were united through the commandments of the Sukkah and the Lulav and the merit of the coming of the Mashiach. Brothers and sisters, we are leaping to the great gathering. Maybe Mashiach come this Sukkot. Maybe Amalek is being destroyed now, so Mashiach come in this Sukkot. Maybe this is what our rabbis are telling us. But without a doubt, we know what is coming next. The moment Iran and the regime is fallen, this will be time for the 3rd temple to be reestablished. This is absolutely shocking. But many other thinkers.
Meanwhile, he's like, when after Iran falls, and then Edom in America will be destroyed, and then we will rebuild our temple. And Ben Shapiro's like, oh, you need a straitjacket if you think Jews want a 3rd temple. Crazy. Good clip, Amalek. Thank you, Mark.
Mark Crampton, 67 cent, $20 on Rumble. Don't know how you do it. Been watching regularly since September. Keep up the good work. High voltage sign emoji. Hail Odin.
Hail Odin. Thank you, Mark. A newbie since September, huh? That's pretty new. Good to have you here, Mark. Thank you. This is Shu. This is some YouTuber girl with the big following that just started following Amalek. She says, first candidate to tell this guy to shut the fuck up gets my vote. Loudest Jew award.
ולתת את הביטחון הדרוש, את ההבטחה הדרושה לקהילות היהודיות בעולם. וכדאי שיקשיבו לאזהרות שלנו. אני דורש מהם פעולה עכשיו.
Traveling Israel says Jews will be killed because of Dan Bilzerian.
They're operating like terrorists.
Jews are going to be killed because of this.
The only real battle in the world today that I see worth fighting is, exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow and go fight with boots on the ground and go kill Israelis. That would be a great day for me. They're operating like terrorists. They're fucking arrogant.
Dude, what an idiot. I saw Nick even criticizing him for this.
On Rumble. Just got my signed book from you, Adam.
Nice.
This whole sickening Trump works
Babatoo.
warning against. Maybe we will finally wake up to how Christianity has contributed to this mess.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday. It's like people are now, it's everywhere. Things I was saying 10 years ago is like in another 10 years, is everybody going to be realizing that Jesus is fake and Jewish and a midrashic myth to conquer the Gentiles? Maybe. Even Nick was criticizing this. He's like, he has no chill. Hey, maybe calling to exterminate Jews isn't the best idea because it actually makes you look insane and makes people have sympathy for Jews and gives them their victimhood status to justify the destruction of Edom. Real tough, bro. Yeah, dude, just grab your commando, put your camouflage commandos on, grab your weapon, and just go take your boat over to Israel, bro. He's not going to do shit either. He's just going to incite stochastic terrorism, somebody to do something. And then the hammer's really going to drop. And they're in charge. And you and Jake Shields and Stu Peters and the clown show aren't going to do a goddamn thing about it. They'll ban you. They'll suppress you. They'll use you as their example. This type of rhetoric. This tough guy, real badass rhetoric. Must go real hard if you're a subtard.
Exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow and go with boots on the ground and go kill Israelis. That would
you would, but
great day.
That would. It's never gonna happen. It wouldn't happen in a million years. But you sound real tough talking about it, huh, Dan?
For me, they're operating like terrorists. They're fucking arrogant, ungrateful bastards, and they need to be wiped off the fucking map.
Beirut is is a marvel. It's beautiful. It reminds me, and it's being destroyed by Israel, which is one of the single ugliest countries in the world. Nothing of beauty has been built there since 1948. Sorry, I've been everywhere in that country, and it's true. That the nature of this emerging empire is destructive, and it always seems like beautiful things wind up being destroyed. Europe, right? Beirut, parts of Syria, the holy sites. Parts of Iran are apparently beautiful, totally blown up. This does seem like a war on beauty as well, which next to truth is like, this is not an American perspective, but it's a Christian perspective and a real perspective. It's a global perspective. Beauty is worth preserving. And yet it seems the determined effort of the IDF to destroy beauty. And I just want to say that because I really notice it.
Dude, look at how I caught this shit. No, George Galloway is boosting Professor Zhang. Oh, Greater Israel Project. Biblical prophecy. Let's bring this dude on. All the Russian dude, he's such a Russian op. Whether he's a Russian op or not, he's boosted by the Russian op network. And he's anti-Western, seething hatred for the West and white people. This guy, Professor Zhang, total kook, by the way, also conspiracy kook, anti-Western, being astroturf. Like, I thought Ian Carroll was astroturfed a lot. I've never seen astroturfing at this level as this guy.
And of course, there is Candace Owens, who wrote that Israel was behind 9/11. And then she wrote this: do not sign up for or continue to fight for the US military. This war is on behalf of satanic. Find the legal means to exit the military. Do not fight for child. And she said this only a few weeks ago.
Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade.
Jew hatred from the right is on the rise. What can be done against this wave of hate? I don't know.
It really looks like Jesus.
Of this madness. Stay safe. Yalla bye.
Okay, kind of weak. Speaking of Professor Zhang, here's his anti-Western global homo narrative, making up pulling statistics out of his ass, saying 20% of American white girls are on OnlyFans.
If you go up to 35, 40 years old. I'm not sure if this statistic is correct. You can tell me if this is correct or not, right?
I'm not sure if this is correct. I saw it on a meme and I'm just making it up as I go along.
I'm not sure if this statistic is correct. You can tell me if this is correct or not, right? But apparently,
Yeah, I'm sure
20%
Sneeko
of
knows.
all American white girls in their 20s are on OnlyFans, something like that. All right. I'm not sure if you've heard this, but just the idea that you have a percentage of American white girls in the 20s all on OnlyFans, that's just incredible to think about. Okay. And you know, like the people joke that that's what America wants to do. America wants to liberate Iranian women so that they can go on OnlyFans and enjoy American corruption and decadence. All right.
Yeah, dude, that's totally it. Yeah, we just want to spread OnlyFans to Iran. That's what this is about.
So
no, it's not Jews and their end times. I thought he covers eschatology and end times wars. Now it's about OnlyFan girls in Iran.
So this statistic says on Google that
yeah, he's pro Dugan. He's Duganist, loves Dugan, hates the West. You could totally trust this Chinese fake professor bullshitter.
for women aged 18 to 24, roughly 14% are active on OnlyFans. So that's 18 to 24, right? Imagine it's probably 20% or maybe 30% if you go up to 35, 40 years old. And the percentage of these women that are white, it's about 70%. So, and that's
crazy.
The narrative you're hearing from the Trump people. They're saying, oh, look, the libtards are getting owned. And they're posting images of Iranian girls stripping free of their niqab, their oppressive niqab, and now they're naked, which is so ridiculous because...
Hey, Jocelyn, thank you.
Sent $20 on Rumble. Western civilizations are repeatedly destroyed by Christianity's baked-in suicidal empathy. It feels like we're winning, though.
Feels like we're winning? No, I think Sneeko and Professor Zhang are winning. If you go by engagement and numbers and follower counts, we're not winning. The things I've been talking about are being co-opted and twisted and butchered.
Because it's the conservative right saying...
And turned kosher.
...mad that women are on OnlyFans.
Sober Jeff.
Sober Jeff Hardy sent $5 on Rumble. We need to do the opposite of what Zhang says almost every time. Obviously an anti-white, anti-Western liberal trying to demoralize nationalist and pro-white movements.
Over the weekend, I saw that somebody found some video he deleted where he tells a story. I watched Big Tech cover it the other night. He tells a story that he deleted the video where he took his 2 young sons to the water park and his son was misbehaving. He was crying because he got chlorine water burning his eyes. And then so he started to viciously beat his child so much that it disturbed the other children at the water park, and they called the police on him. And he made up some whole story about how these white lifeguards scared me and tried to keep me locked in the bathroom. They asked him to stay until the police got there, and he left. And he started trying to sue. He's trying to sue the water park for racism. And you could tell his seething hatred for the West and for white people in the video that he deleted because it looks so bad. And that explains why he loves Dugan and hates the West and is bullshitting.
Kung Fu is the martial art of bull.
I think it's the best indicator of a society in decline, right? So the Roman Empire, when it declined, the main problem was that women refused to have children. And so everyone was freaking out, like, what can we do about it?
Yeah, OnlyFans that's been around for like 5 years is the total sign of a collapsing. Funny how he's like you're a bunch of degenerates, you're gonna collapse. Anti-Western propaganda is what that is. Grace is here. She says no mention of 82 million male subscribers. Yeah, as if it's not a bunch of foreign men also buying subscriptions on OnlyFans too. It's not like it's just an American thing.
But then
everybody's trying to say that Patrick Bet David, who I'm no fan of at all, was copying him and his whiteboard. This guy was doing whiteboard videos years ago. He started off doing I remember seeing the old videos of him doing his multi-level marketing scheme whiteboard presentations.
He's not going to fight in there.
He says he's copying him.
How many of these people like Patrick Bet David, I recently saw he's like trying to copy your lectures a little bit. Maybe you didn't see, but this is a good example of a Western Iranian who is.
Yeah, nobody ever lectured in front of a whiteboard. He owns whiteboards now.
Comes to America and encourages this war, but then he's not going to fight in there. He's not going to enlist. There might be a draft coming. I don't know if you think that.
The average Sneeko follower sees an Asian dude with glasses in front of a whiteboard and they just automatically believe everything he says and thinks he's some intellectual professor, serious person.
That's likely. And he doesn't go back to Iran with not going to fight in the war. Are these examples of Mossad paid influencers, or are they just completely brainwashed and don't know how to submit to the fact that Trump completely lied about everything he said he was going to do in his campaign?
So Patrick David, so he actually got in touch on Monday. He wanted to interview me. He wanted me on his show. And what happened was, that was the same day that
it's an Illuminati
online campaign against me. Like it was just weird in that, and that I went on Twitter and like everyone was attacking me. And like it was the same talking points where, I just make stuff up. And like they picked the most silly things to attack me with. Okay. So for example, like last year I talked about how I didn't believe the Battle of Canine actually happened. And I explained why I think this history was made up. And then like, well, you see, this guy is just full of it. This guy doesn't know history. Everyone, so I'm like, who are these people, and why is this happening all at the same time? So that interview request from Patrick Bet David, it's sort of like, I'm like, this must be a setup.
Yeah.
He wants me on a show so that he can provoke me into say something really stupid.
Yeah, it's a setup. Inviting you on the show, it's a setup. Everybody's inviting him on the show right now, but yeah, that's a setup. So Nick Fuentes was calling this guy out, saying he's an idiot, talking about Frankist and Illuminati and Freemasons and Jesuits and shit, and that's only the beginning of it. The guy he's a moon landing denier. He says evolution is a satanic conspiracy. He says there's nothing wrong with Judaism, it's only Zionism. So he claps back and he says, Nick is paid to promote certain agendas. And I've noticed the Dugan sphere and the Russia shill sphere, ever since Nick has came out calling out the Russia propagandists, called out Candace and others, they're all gunning for him now all of a sudden. Find that interesting.
Look.
Okay.
Sorry, but Nick Fuentes clearly has a political agenda. The guy's a smart guy, but some of his conclusions are clearly manufactured. He's not working from first principles. He's not working, I think, he's a pretty smart guy. And some of the things he says.
Garrett sent $5. Zhang is jealous of our BWCs, which all the Chinese women prefer over his egg roll.
That's probably it. You're probably right. That's probably it. He has a political agenda. Dude, you're an anti-Western grifter.
Some of the things he says is like,
like what?
Paying you to say that. I don't know.
Someone's paying you to say that. Hey, maybe somebody's paying you. You AstroTurf fraud.
Okay, but
just no proof at all. Oh, I think it's like Candace. I think somebody's paying him. The motive attack. He doesn't say where he's wrong. He says, "Oh, you're being paid to say something."
Something going on with Nick.
So, I got my issues with Nick. Maybe there is something going wrong, but he has been around 10 years actually talking about Jews. This guy pops up, he has 1 million followers on YouTube and is instantly on every single big podcast and going viral on all platforms.
Look.
Okay.
Sorry, but Nick Fuentes clearly has a political agenda. The guy's a smart guy, but
but you have no agenda. The CCP agent has no agenda, though, huh?
Boba says,
Boobaloo.
I'll know we're winning when your book sells 1 million copies. For now, the Christian mind is still in control.
Yeah, we got a long way to go to get that, but yeah. Then maybe we could say we're winning. Hey, maybe when we have 10,000 people in the live chat and they have 600 like we do, that maybe then we can say we're winning. He's also spewing the same bullshit that the Leader of Iran sacrificed himself to mobilize the Scott Ritter sneako retardation.
And the advantage they have is that Americans are not inspired for this war, but the Muslims in Iran are completely, this is part of their every fiber of existence. And so having someone like Khomeini be martyred unites people in a different way. Do you think that he allowed himself to be martyred?
I think 100% was intentional, because there were two major sacrifices the first day, right? The first sacrifice were those 170 schoolgirls that were targeted by the Tomahawk. And like, look, I mean, like, there's pretty good reporting that it was actually the Americans. And so that's the first sacrifice. And the second sacrifice was
sacrifice.
At any time he could have gone to Moscow, right? So, and again, in the Zoroastrian and the Shia Muslim perspective, it's just like, if you need to galvanize your people, you need to make a sacrifice. And it is wrong to sacrifice others because it's unjust. So you have to sacrifice yourself. Okay. And like it is a warrior mentality. Like he's being a warrior here, where it's almost like, you know, like the general being the first out in the field, knowing that he's going to die, but knowing that his death, his courage is going to inspire all the soldiers behind him to avenge his death.
Mm-hmm. So people were calling me crazy for that, but it makes sense, and I'm sure you've seen.
Oh, yeah, people called me crazy, but Scott Ritter and this guy said it, dude. Over the weekend I saw Scott Ritter fall for the stupidest AI thing ever. Lucas Gage shared an AI image of him and Netanyahu and Ben Shapiro, and Scott Ritter shows up in the replies and goes, "Look, the Zionists are teaming up with the Nazis, you traitor!" And it's like, bruh, how stupid are you? High-level intel agent, and you can't even tell an obvious fucking AI image when you see it? He deleted it. He was so embarrassed. It's unbelievable. You saw that? Predicts Israel might do a false flag attack to destroy Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem and blame Iran. Oh my God. You mean the shit that everybody that knows about the Dome of the Rock and the Third Temple has been saying for years? Great prediction, bro. I've never heard anybody suggest that.
So the great fear is that it's only a question of like, how serious will this false flag be?
Serious.
The most serious false flag that I think is coming up, which will shock the world, is the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So as you may know, they closed down the Al-Aqsa Mosque these past few days. And for the past 2 years, they've been doing archaeological surveys, digging basically underneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So the great fear is that the Israelis are planning a 9/11 attack, where, you know, an Iranian missile streaks through Jerusalem, and then the Al-Aqsa Mosque is destroyed in a controlled demolition. And then the Israelis blame Iran for the destruction. In fact, if you go on YouTube, there's a very famous video where a preacher talks about this. You know, this rabbi, he talks about this, where, you know, like, wouldn't it be wonderful if during a war, an Iranian missile comes to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, then we can build a third temple, and then the Arabs and the Persians would start to kill each other, and like let those animals and cowards kill each other. What a wonderful thing, right? So I think that's a great fear.
Claims Jared Kushner is the new Epstein, and their goal is to usher in the Antichrist. Let's see this take.
Okay. When Jeffrey Epstein died, who replaced him? And
what a stupid take. Kushner replaced Epstein?
Okay. When Jeffrey Epstein died, who replaced him?
How are they even the same?
And then you ask yourself,
they're Jewish billionaires? That's it?
Who is Jared Kushner? And why is he involved in...
Dude, nobody has ever asked who is Jared Kushner. I love how some new guy pops on the scene and he's just acting like, you know, he's the first to think of any of these things before. Who is... Let me tell you who Jared Kushner is.
Who is Jared Kushner? And why is he involved in Ukrainian peace negotiations? Why is he an envoy to Israel on behalf of Trump? And why is he participating in the Iranian peace negotiations? Steve Witkoff And Jared Kushner, our envoys, who went to Ukraine to negotiate with Putin to end.
And Epstein wasn't doing anything like that. He was eating beef jerky on an island getting massages from young girls. That's not anything like close to Jared Kushner.
The war. They met with Zelensky to end the war. They are very close with Netanyahu. And then they represented Trump in peace negotiations with the Iranians. Who are these people? Right? Jared Kushner is a replacement for Jeffrey Epstein. And it all makes sense if you think about it that way.
Stupid. It's a stupid take.
What trying to do, they're trying to fulfill eschatology. They're trying to position world events in a certain way that would accelerate the collapse of the world, which is what Jeffrey Epstein did. Remember, we only have at most 50% of his emails. It's possibly, it could be 2% of his emails. We know nothing about.
Stupid take. The new Jeffrey Epstein, just yapping. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Sam Tripoli? We're 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Without him. Join the, when are you going to...
They make plenty food. There is...
Inshallah, when are you going to become Abdul Jake Shields and finally... worship the one true God and no other idols without him. Join the. When are you gonna?
They make plenty food.
I gotta cover this angel orb.
But we can love God and Jesus. Well, I guess you guys do. So
we do love God and Jesus, the Messiah, and He's gonna come back. We love Jesus.
Yeah, dude, we just gotta love our Messiah. Hey, we're gonna own the Jews by believing in Messiahs, guys. Great plan, right? Jake, who blocked me recently and was talking shit, the fucking retard. He tweeted, I saw somebody tag me. He tweeted like, I fell for Trump. I voted for him twice. And it's like, yeah, if you would have listened to me, you wouldn't have done that. You're going to have to find out the hard way how stupid it is to trust in Jewish messiahs.
$5 chosen challenge.
Thank you, sober Jeff Hardy.
Worship the one true God. Jake, I see it.
Come on, dude. Worship the one true God of Abraham, Jake. You know you want to. Just believe in your fucking Yahweh. Your Bible God. That's how you be. When you believe in the Bible gods, the Jews lose. That's true, right?
No, I'm not trying to force it, but don't you see it? It's
right now I'm trying to bring Christians and Muslims together. It's obviously a different religion, but they have to realize that they're such a close religion versus the people who, they literally killed Christians' God, and they killed
They literally killed the Christian God. They literally killed God, so we got to team up with the Muslims because we all love that Jewish Messiah, Jesus.
Your Savior.
Well, it's not just about other people, Jake. I mean, it's also about you. It's also about your salvation. You're doing a great job, trying your best to get truth out there. But it's also about you, Jake Shields, individually, right?
I'm slowly getting there. It just takes a while when you grow up non-religious to process it all, and you start realizing over the last year I've seen there clearly is a God. I think longer than that, but you're seeing there's a spiritual battle being played out, and
you see the spiritual battle. There's demons and ball bank accounts and beef jerky, and there was a satanic hand sign at the Illuminati Super Bowl halftime show. So I believe Jesus must be real. I can't handle this stupid logic, dude. Every one of these dumbasses is oh, Jesus is real because there's bad things.
These evil people also believe it and worship these demons and do sacrifices. Once you start seeing all this crazy shit's real, then it's there better be a God if there's a devil.
There better be God if there's a devil. The devil is a Jewish boogeyman, and God is a Jewish fiction. Come on, Jake. Such trash. Alien orb theory.
Trent Horn recently put out a video.
This is a good video for another day. I just saw See Through It All shared a clip of Jay Dyer talking about how Israel is a British Empire plot, like Alex Jones likes to push too. They love to sweep for Judaism and instead blame white people for Israel. We're not going to cover that today, though. What else do we have? I think we're about to close it up. Close it down. Don't even know what else I have here. This is stuff from Noahide Laws being promoted. Role of Satan. No, we're going to cover that another. All right, that is all we have for today. Appreciate you guys for watching and supporting. Almost hit the goal, very close to the goal. I'll be back tomorrow with Western Alliance. Going to be discussing some of the latest news and his research on the Russia angle. And I'll be back every day this week. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, clip the show, pick up a book in the links in the description below, subscribe star link below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice night and take care. Why is that not playing?